We have Lamin FM Konta of Combo East constituency, also replaced by one Abdul Sow, who I understand had actually contested in the last parliamentary election as an independent candidate and finished in third position with 1,208 votes. And also, we know the late Fakeba Koli of Kiang West, who actually passed away before the end of his term and also was under the ticket of UDP, is being replaced by one Lamin Sise. So basically, the MPs who have expressed interest and have been retained by the executive of the United Democratic Party in the upcoming election, we have Asan Toure of Bakau constituency, Keba K. Baro, Combo South, who is the current majority leader in Parliament. We have Bakari Njai of Bunukakunda constituency, Madike Sise of Serekunda West constituency. We have Alaji S. Dabo of Brikama North constituency. We have Lamin J. Sane of Brikama South constituency, Matar Jeng of Lower Nyomi constituency, Suleiman Saho of Central Badibu, Bakari Kamara of Kiang Central constituency, Yaya Gassamo of Kiang East constituency. We have Kayali Fofana of Jara West, Saini Toure of Jara East, Al-Husseini Sise of Same constituency. We have Alaji F.B. Sila of Nyani constituency. For the drama of Tumana constituency, we have Mohamed Mahanera of Sandu constituency and Dembo K. Kamara of Ilyasa, or better said, Upper Badibu constituency. These are the 17th sitting MPs of UDP who have been retained by the executive, and they will be seeking re-election in the upcoming parliamentary election. And if you go back to records, you realize that the 8 MPs that were expelled by the UDP, we have Ablas of Old Yundum constituency, we have Alaji Jawara of Lower Badibu constituency, we have Bilaji Tungara of Kantora constituency, Fatimata Jawara of Talending constituency, Umar Dabo of Opanyomi, Seku Marong of Latrikunda, Seku Bajaju of Busumala constituency, and Baba Gale Jalo of Sane Mentreng constituency. And yes, Ansumana, that's what we have as far as the UDP is concerned. And as you are seeing on your screen, you understand right now, Mamadou Sabali is currently at the Brikama IEC regional office filing in his nomination papers. Mamadou Sabali has been one of a strong supporter of the UDP, and he is aspiring to contest in the Busumbala constituency, and he will be coming against the sitting MP Sekuba Jaju and other Nyamalisa Kujadi, exactly. So Ansumana, welcome back. I mean, that's like I have taken through, that's UDP now coming up to file in the nomination. They're putting up 48, Ansumana.
Yeah, I mean,
long list, right?
I mean, it's quite a significant number, and I think it speaks volume of how, or the importance that the party attaches to this National Assembly elections. Of course, it's no surprise they had the majority in the last parliament. Even though at some point they had 8 who were expelled from the party, yet they still, maintained, that huge influence, in parliament. And I think some of the finest, really, politicians we've seen, or the most, instrumental MPs we've seen in the last parliament, really, some of them are from the UDP. So it's not a small party, it's one of the biggest party in the country. And, of course, the party has always been one of ambition. We know, of course, from the previous elections, it's no surprise that they are putting in what?
48.
48.
And out of this 48, we have 7 who are women.
Yeah, 7 women.
Yeah, we have Yakumba Jaite. Yakumba is coming now, Serekunda constituency. We have Fatu Cham, Sane Mentreng constituency. We have Maimuna Gay of Sabak Sanjal constituency. We have Jarai Fainke, like I mentioned earlier on, Janjambure constituency. We have Halimatu Sadia Sow of Lower Salem constituency. We have Tida Kijera of Wuli West constituency, and Fatumata Juara of Wuli East.
I think this is the highest
number of women we have seen put up by any of these political parties.
And for me, I mean,
it's quite commendable, right?
Very, very commendable, to be honest. Very, very commendable. In as much as I think the number could have still been better, but the UDP, we have to, really say that they've done what no other party has done so far. 7
is the highest.
Is indeed very commendable. It's very commendable.
It's quite commendable.
And yeah, but again, Aliu, 17 retained.
Yeah.
It tells you that these are people that the party and their constituents, are at least, satisfied with their contribution in Parliament in the past 5 years.
Yeah, and perhaps also it's a justification that the party is quite convinced by their loyalty to the party. When others were cross-carpeting to the NPP, these people stood their ground and remained with the UDP.
Well, no party would want to have a politician, especially one of the status of a National Assembly member, who is not loyal to you. So, because, I mean, not only do they go to Parliament to enact laws, to ratify bills and perform their oversight functions, but also, I mean, you have party policies, this party ideology, and there can be no better national platform than the National Assembly. So if you have someone who is not loyal to the party, certainly you wouldn't want to have them in your ranks.
Jerejef ansumana eso nyasi mbadingol melbe QTV jube kang ba fly ko albismillah mutana jang kotenke pour ka nomination natalie comme nga fale nyama nyin tambento United Democratic Party UDP walde bela mulus dandan kang pour ka taka futa ici la regional official beto melbe Gambia be kono ka ko nga fale nyamen abetamento UDP be mo tannan ni sayle londe kan pour ka député sirang o nyini banko kan jang pam nga fale nyamen ñin tembe ngaje e UDP comme député National Assembly men tambe ta ngaje UDP was the majority ila mole siata je baaki kato mo tansabanin killing UDP wolbe kitano UDP te kaben 2017 election okay bar ngaje silo kan ibitabe la fameta e nara mo say expel keke by from the UDP party and then mo dol fana continue in party bari nga menje ngaji mo 17th UDP ye wale maintain pour ka sirango nyine kotenke ko ngaji nyaben ko ngaji Asan Touré baka constituency dabe wala kono le ke baro Kombo South Bakary Ndiaye bunuka kunda constituency Made Cissé Serekunda West Alaji S Dabo Brikama North Lamin Gia Sane Brikama South Matar Jeng Lowa Nyomi Suleiman Saho Central Badibu Bakary Kamara Kiang Central Yaya Gassama Kiang East Kajali Fofana Jara West Saini Touré Jara East Alfusaini Cissé Rada Same Alaji FB Silla Nyani Fode Drame Tumana Mohamed Mahanera Sandu Dembo and Aning Dembo K Kamara Ilyasa ñun le moti melan ko ibenung last National Assembly bari ngaje UDP ye bulaje pour sira ngoni ko tenke ila ñing tundol kan mo melan ko imantra ka murukan murnang this legislature ngaji Mamadou Cissé melan ko last election ay binung UDP janjambure amanta murukan nang ngaji ay ka me jaray fayinke UDP wala londi sana Jawara opofula du West wo fanang nga modol je UDP wala londi ka me Numukunda Kanyi Alaji Dabo of Lower Fuladu West nga menje wala mo karamo fati UDP wala londi pro asilono je Alaji Drame Joswan constituency wo fanang Manta Murkan ngaje UDP mel ka me Buba Jadama Lamin FM Konta of Combo East wo fanang Manta Murkan ngaje UDP ye modol ni ka me Abdou Sow aning fa keba koli araman ne man kabar kray ngaje abanta janning ala tamning be banna bari Kiang West ngaje UDP ye modol londe Kiang West e ka me Lamin Cissé bari ku kilimbe UDP le so nyaaje munata kumara baki ilani molo tannan ni seyol yemel lende ngaje mo woro wulol be mo sorti anem wo mo kulati me alon ko fonge comment katu itelo mo parti foloti me alon ko ila ye musol siande bake mo woro wala wo siara bake de katu parti dolbe je nka mo klina je mo fula dolbe je mo sabalam so UDP wala mo woro wala londe musolo pour ida sitarno nying siran carte ñino mbokki nga mi ngi siran QTV len dalala rek len wax ne delsu wat nañ gana biñ jëlé time pour noppale ko tuuti delsi waat nañ tey comme ni ma leen ko waxee rek fu nekk ni UDP United Democratic Party ñoo nekk di gunge seen nit pour ñu aaga ci nga xam ne moo nekk IEC regional office from Banjul ba Basse pour yóbbu leen fa wane seen pare pour mën a jongante si nga xam ne moo nekk National Assembly election bu war a ñëw si April 9 comme ni ma leen ko waxee rek APRC taxaw nañ lu dem ba 48 aspiring candidates yooyu la UDP yooyu la gaay taxawal bëgg a taxawal pour ñu mën a jongante si nga xam ne moo nekk utam néegi député yi nii kon ni ma leen ko waxee rek gis ne ay 7 of them ay jigéen lañ juróom-ñaar ñi nga xam ne ñoo bëgg a taxaw ñëpp ay jigéen lañ xam naa ne kon ma ko juróom-ñaar yëpp jigéen lañ ni ma leen ko waxee rek soo leen xoolee parlement bu passé ni UDP ñoo dominé woon si 2017 élection bi gannaaw bi ñu amee li nga xam ne moo nekk fanweer ak benn si toogu député yi nga xam ne moo nekk si néegi député yi kon ni ma leen ko waxee rek gis nañ ne maintain nañ ko parce que ñu ngi gis 17 of ñooñu noonu yi nga xam ne ñoom tam UDP dañ leen bëgg a taxawalaat pour ñu utaat toogo bi pour del si waa si National Assembly bi ñooñu bokkan si kanam moo nekk Assane Touré moo jógee ko Bakaw constituency gis nañ Keba K Barrow Kombo South Bakary Ndiaye Bundukakunda constituency Made Cissé Serekunda West Alaji S Dabo Brikama North Lamine J Sane Brikama South Matar Jeng Lowa Nyomi Suleiman Saho Central Badibu Bakary Kamara Kiang Central Yaya Gassama Kiang East. Okay, I understand we can now go to Kanifing, where there's a press conference currently ongoing. One of the candidates of the UDP has just filed his nomination and is now taking to the press. Let's take a listen.
I'm 100% sure, in fact, 100% sure that I'll be accepted because I have fulfilled all the criteria that the IEC is looking for. It's just a formality that they want to subject the process to, but I am 100% sure that, in fact, I'm accepted.
But what motivated you to contest this forthcoming election?
Yes, the Gambia is a very sad state right now. I think people like us need to sacrifice for the nation. Let's not look at what we are doing. Let's not look at the type of job we are doing. Let's see the country. This is why I sacrifice my job and contest for the National Assembly election. And I am sure I'm going to win, inshallah.
So what would be your priorities if you are elected for now?
My priorities, I said it before, is going to be Latrikunda Sabiji constituency and the whole Gambia. Because I'm going to represent Latrikunda Sabiji constituency, both in the National Assembly. That's why it's called a National Assembly. Yeah. Everybody meets there. Now, my priority is going to be water shortage in my constituency, electricity problem. These are going to be my priorities that I'm going to address in like 3 or 4 months in my tenure.
So with this, the role of the National Assembly is to create laws that are federal.
I understand where you are going to. Now, it's very famous, yes. The role and function of a National Assembly is to formulate laws and policies. It doesn't end there. I always tell my people I'm going to establish Constituency Development Fund. This fund, I'm going to have all the councillors within my region to work towards achieving projects for my region. It's not only going to the National Assembly and make laws. You can also attract projects. You can attract funding for your constituency. It has been a settled tradition, yes. We only go to the National Assembly, Saudi and come back to make laws, but it's more than that. You are dealing with thousands of people. Write good project proposals, and I'm sure you're going to attract funding for them.
So with this level of optimism, so far, what have you contributed to your constituency that impacted their livelihood?
The constituency I am contesting, I've been living there for 20 years. I don't want to come to public and tell the public or tell the media what I have done for people. I think it's better you go to Latrikunda subject constituency and ask them what Yaya Sani has been doing here for the past 20 years. Yes.
So in case someone comes and then raise concerns over your...
As I said, I am very sure, 100% sure, I am accepted. But there are laws and regulations to subject every candidate submission to public scrutiny. This is a procedure. I'm not afraid of that procedure. That's why I say I'm accepted.
So if you might be, someone might say, Yaya is someone that is new in politics. Before you join the politics, what is your portfolio now? What can we say about Yaya, Dr. John's politician?
I am a civil engineer by profession. I work at the Gambia OIC Secretariat. We established the Gambia OIC Secretariat. All these roads you are seeing that Adamo Barrow is talking about, we created the fund. We went out and get the fund for the government. Yeah. So my track record is fantastic as far as the development of this country is concerned.
So if you are elected,
do you have any intention to fight corruption in the country?
In fact, this is one of my motivations to contest the National Assembly elections. There is so much reckless corruption in this government. Every department you go is disheartening to know that every department in this country, there is 100% corruption, be it our regional, our directors, be it our ministers. So I'm going to the National Assembly to make to put a stop to this, because if you look at the situation of the Gambia right now, everything is increasing. If there is reckless economic management in the country, what happens is prices increase in the market. If prices increase in the market, farmers suffer. So this is one of my motivations to go to the National Assembly.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, viewers, that's Yaya Sanyang of Latrikunda Sabiji constituency, put up by the United Democratic Party, and as you have heard from him, he has expressed the reason why he is running, he aspiring to run in the upcoming parliamentary election, and he mentioned about the issue of what he calls, I quote, reckless corruption in government institutions. Sidi Ansumana, what do you make of his reactions there after filing in his nomination? Yahya Sanyang, Latrikunda Sabiji.
I mean, I have to say I like his optimism, his level of confidence, and his choice of words as well. Reckless corruption. So, I mean, Aliu, Yaya is, of course, quite popular around the,
He said he's a civil engineer.
Latrikunda area. And, however, this is politics, and I think this is the first time he's contesting, if I'm right. So we look forward to the campaign, and we see how he's going to fare come election day. But he sounds very optimistic, and he's able to articulate himself quite well. I think his message has been sent across. So we wish him good luck.
Reckless corruption that he intends to fight if he's voted in as a National Assembly member for Latrikunda Sabiji constituency.
I mean, Nyasi said he's quite a popular guy in Latrikunda Sabiji, and I guess he has got the grassroots support. I mean, you can see the crowd with him. He talked about corruption, he talks about the OIC projects and all what. Great, I mean, but this is politics now.
Exactly.
For me, when it comes to the UDP as a party, and their position after the presidential election, if you looked at it, some of the concerns that they have raised, I have not seen a remedy being done about those concerns, but they again went and threw their hats in this election. So
in this case, what were you expecting, that they will boycott the parliamentary election or what?
I mean, that's what I expect from them. But again, like we had other speakers from various political parties whose candidates have gone before the Independent Electoral Commission. We hope to have somebody from the UDP to come and at least clear these doubts for us. But if you follow the track record of UDP, few elections general elections, when they make substantial allegations against election process, they would boycott. But this time around is different. So we'll get to hear from them.
But is that the best way to boycotting elections?
I don't think that would be a smart move. I mean, you don't change a system from the outside. I think, if you look at our current political reality, the truth is, I don't think it is to their advantage, to the party's advantage to boycott, really. Especially, given that they are they carry so much influence within Parliament, it wouldn't really make political sense.
One is not advocating for them to boycott. We are going back history here. There's a party when they make substantial allegations against a process, would sit back and fold their arms.
Well, viewers, from what you are seeing on your screen, those are images from Brikama, and that's Momodu Sabali, who is also at the Brikama IC office to fight in his nomination papers. Sabali is aspiring to contest in the Busumbala constituency. I know our correspondent Mudu Gajaga is there. We will try to get in touch with him so that we will get the latest from there. Those are just live images from Brikama. As you are saying, the security is trying to have everything in order. As I know, from from the images we were seeing, I mean, it seems Sabally really went to Brikama with a huge crowd. But like I said, our reporter Momodu Gajaga will tell us exactly what the issue is. I mean, we're saying some, but let me wait for Momodu Gajaga, our correspondent there, who will be able to give us the facts on the ground as far as what we are saying on the screen is concerned. Yes.
So I was saying, if they boycott, then it means you're throwing in the towel. You're emboldening your opponent, because then they would be in charge. And once they are in control or they dominate parliament, I mean, naturally, I mean, politically, you're weak. You wouldn't be able to...
I agree with you.
You lose that influence.
What we are looking here is not whether they should boycott or not boycott. We are talking about history.
Yes. No, I understand what you're saying.
So, I mean, it is always good to reflect, you know, where we were yesterday and where we are today. And I think, you know, once we have somebody from the UDP, I mean, it would, you know, clear our doubts, because it's a political party that, if not the only political party, but the party that went to court and then, you know, make a ground that they believe the election wasn't free and fair. So we must not forget that.
Of course.
We cannot push that aside.
Of course.
You know, they made serious allegations against the process. They were in doubt of the capacity
and the
credibility of the Independent Electoral Commission. And it's the same institution that sits here and to observe this election, and definitely we need to get some answers from them. Why? Overnight. Is it because the IEC have changed face?
Yeah, no? that's a salient point you've raised.
Absolutely. We must not just put our head in the sand. And
however, if you look at the number of aspirants they've put up, it tells you the importance and the seriousness
they attach to the parliamentary election.
To this parliamentary election.
Well, what was the difference between 2001, when they make serious allegations against this very institution, the IEC, and boycotted that election?
Well, maybe
and
times
then this
have changed. Times have changed.
Times have changed, but I think that's for them to decide as a political party. They can decide not to partake in any election. They can condemn the outcome of the presidential election, but they might still choose to, you know, contest in the parliamentary election.
We'll need answers from them.
Let's now go to Gajaga, who is now on the line from Brikama. Gajaga, we understand UDP is now coming. What's the latest there?
Yes, a little tense situation here after Momodu Sabali's candidature is being rejected because the IEC said he's been banned from serving in public office. You know, you remember the Jana Commission's report that came. One of the recommendations was to ban Momodu Sabali for life from holding public office. So that is exactly what the IEC has implemented, and he said it's unfair. He just almost completely lost his core. A very, very disorganized situation. So now everything is on hold.
Yes,
they are not happy at all. That's the scene that is happening here, Aliu.
Gajaga, why does that happen? Just make sure you are safe. Just summarize what is happening there in the local language in Mandinka for us, please.
Yes, basically, like Aliu, I said, it's a tense situation. It's a scary situation. That is what is happening here. The UDP supporters, that is the supporters who came in company with Momodu Sabali, are not taking any of it. They are really showing their dissatisfaction after his candidature is being rejected.
Just summarize it in Mandinka, please, Gajaga. I mean,
because of the crowd, so
allow him to go away. Go safe, please. Be safe.
I mean, I think we
yes,
should just
I
allow
think we allow Gajaga to take cover.
Exactly.
As the
yes, but if you can hear me, Gajaga, just summarize what's been happening there in Mandinka.
This guy can hear you, Aliu. Let it take cover.
Because mimu kuobe dunta nyokono le saying UDP la candidate mi alon ko atele nyanta kalo busumbala constituency Momodu Sabali mbenga lon ko ay do ko kenung nying government min tatanu jam before ya jamela mararo kono aba multi mi alon ka ne ketanu budget director tile anene ketanu secretary general tani head of civil service atel lafta kallo pour ka nyin siraw nyin ni busumbala bari mbe tembo min to tending anata IC la kaytol samanan bari yala kaytol nyim murundala lay comme ka itendala ko ite mo multi mi alon ko yete banne pour ka nsafo mansakunda palaso nyim mara bawo nata nan kabri Jana Commission ali alon ko kisi rol kenung bankola nafulo dunda no nyam ya jambe jamano la mara ate Momodu Sabali to nata auto bakele ye nyine itandi je ko abe tembo min to atete lola no bawo ye tongola la kan ye sansongola la kan ko atete lola no pour ka nsafo ko jamala palaso nyine no mansakunda la karola say wala be kerin jantenting mol fele e be kamfare mbake UDP supportal wala be kekin jang say tente So mbe inte momento jantenti kay UDP la supporter lo wolbe kamfare mbakele be la kamfada itandi kan iko minketa mu kulti mi alon ko ani loi manta amanke ku kendeti say ning security be nyola wala dol ko abe dunale bay force bari a sabali fa fe la supporter le be move kay bida be findikan e be nyine itandi kan janko tonya man kontan mi alon ka keta aka munda ko la kamfada e bole itandi kan iko minketa ani loi manta mbo tembe dal to tenten sai
Abaraka Bake, Mamadou Gajaga, our reporter, they are giving us the latest from Brikama, as you have heard from him. I mean, it seems the Sabalis nomination is rejected because of the Jana Commission report, which...
I mean, I wouldn't want to say much on this, because I believe the UDP must have done their homework, and I believe the IEC must have done their homework. What actually I want to see is for those UDP supporters to leave the IEC office and use another route, that is the court, to challenge the rejection of Mamadou Sabali. Because bear in mind there are other people who are supposed to be nominated. So when there is commotion there, that will derail the whole process for today. So I think there is another room that they can take, that is go back, look at the laws, and if the need be, go to court.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. UDP is a political party, with very good lawyers, we assume and we believe. And the IEC too must have done their homework. So for me, this is what I would say. Then let them go to the courts and then ask for redress.
So?
Well, I want
Are you
to,
surprised?
Given how the party have reacted to similar situations in the past, I want to strongly believe they would do that. They would go to court. They've always been doing that whenever they have such. Whenever there are such incidences or disagreements when it comes to elections. Yeah, Aliu, I'm surprised in the sense that I want to believe that, the party must have done their homework before, confirming his candidature. However, given the allegations on him from the past regime and the recommendations of the Jani Commission, this is a little tough one, because for someone of his, caliber, his education, his level of awareness.
Let's now go to let's now go back to Mamadou Gajaga. Gajaga, what's the latest now?
I have to return back I have to return back to the studio because of what is happening here. They are not happy at all.
What is?
No, allow him to go.
Okay, Mamadou. Okay, that's exactly. That's Gajaga Vea giving us the latest update from there. As you have heard from him, the electoral body in Brikama has rejected Sabali's nomination due to what they say is the findings against him by the Jana Commission, because according to the laws, the electoral laws, if you are found wanting by a commission, then you are not eligible to.
I have to come back. I said earlier, and we must emphasize this. What we want is a peaceful, election, a peaceful campaign period, and a peaceful Gambia at the end of the day. If, for example, like it stands, Mamadou Sabali nomination has been rejected by the Independent Electoral Commission, the UDP as a political party must actually help their supporters right now, to stay calm and lose the cause. We know the leader of the UDP is a law-abiding citizen. He always advocates for rule of law. So definitely, I don't foresee this to be a problem. Now that it has happened, I'm sure the UDC leadership will be in communication to talk to this, the crowd, to calm down, and we have the cause.
And now the problem is, everywhere asked, you can say they can go to the court and challenge it. So is there any possibility of UDP having another replacement? Considering the timing of the nomination, outside the nomination period.
It is late. It is off.
It's not the last time we discussed about the presidential election. So
it is up on the table for UDP, as we speak right now, to replace Mamadou Sabali. Right, as we speak right now. What can happen? I'm not a legalized party, but what can happen is to go to the courts. And if the court rules in their favor, there can be a by-election.
But the party can fill in an independent candidate.
I mean, even right now for independent candidate, it's not possible.
Of course, they have this window wherein if there's an independent candidate who wants to come in, an extra 2 days that have been added, or if maybe you have not been able to meet 1 or 2 required.
Depending that you've already,
expressed
interest
and collected the form,
for them to manufacture somebody now, it's late. But they may support another candidate there.
I just want to appeal to the supporters out there. I know, there would be disappointment, emotions are high, but let's just, be cool and maintain the calmness, and then we could see what happens from here. But really, like I said, given his level of education, his awareness, and the fact that he served in government in different portfolios, with his experience, it really would have been, an added advantage, to have someone
like him.
I knew at some point somebody was in the court trying to challenge this Vijana Commission, and I don't know the outcome of the court, whether it's over or it's still in the courts. But like you said, I think it's something that he needs to seriously look at. How can he get himself off the hook?
Like you said, Ansumana, I would quite agree with you. I mean, he's somebody who is smart, very intelligent, to be honest with you, and then he really understands issues. The next parliament, we really need people like him. Yes, whether it's one thing to have the quality to be in parliament, but it's another thing to meet the requirements as well. So that's the issue. I mean, he is somebody who definitely, many of us will see a legislature with good brands like that of Sabali. Working on Nigerian TV, coming to the Osman Tango, no one rek Modu Gajaga, doing Mamadou Sabali, ko hamni dafa bëggoon taxaw pour Busumbala constituency under UDP dem na Brikama waaye daf mel ni gars yi dañ bañ pour nangu li nga xam ne moo nekk nomination parce que ñu ne dafa bokkoon si nit ñoo xam ne Jana commission bu passé report bu ñu génnee Sabali bokkoon si nit ñoo xam ne dañu si tuumaal ne dañ bokkoon si ay yuut yaa ci nguur bu passé bale so loolu moo tax nag si luwaay réew mi nga ne moo nekk di government nga ne moo nekk élection dafa wane ne façon ñu mën a taxaw pour façon place bi musi am ha joni Leonardo TV ɗon ɗo joni rek comme ça no gono yirtini rek ɗon ɗo Brikama mo ganduɗa ko on wiyete Mamadou Sabali mo ganduɗa ko on fono daranare UDP toto Busumbala constituency kanko noon o yeehi Brikama kono ɗum wayno IEC ɓe jaɓani nomination makko par ce que ɓe mbi o woni ɓe mo ganduɗa homo tawa he koye wiyete ko Jane commission report mo yaltino pawe ɓe haalimi ɓe ganduɗa ɓe tawama koye mbiyata ko tappale eni walla goɗɗum eni dal he laamu yewtugo on waɗino joni Sabal de ko wara qualify pour o wawa darade pour Busumbala constituency pour wona he UDP. As you have seen, viewers, we are also getting images from Kanifing, where Asan Toure of Bakau constituency is now filing in his nomination. Asan Toure is the sitting MP of Bakau constituency, and he is among the 17th sitting National Assembly members that the UDP has chosen to retain for the next parliament. Asan Toure actually was elected in 2017 in Bakau constituency, and in that election he got 4,883 votes against Sidi Gassama of GDC, who got 501, and Kumba Bari of APRC 1,370 votes. As you are seeing on your screen, that is Asan Toure currently filing in his nomination papers at the IEC regional office in Kanifing. Mbokk nga mi ngi Salam TV di xamal nak mu nekk ni ku ñu oyé Asan Toure baye ko Bakau constituency. Asan nak mom mu nekk mo nekkon député Bakau constituency, waaye bokkan ci nga xamné UDP dañ leen taxawalaat pour ñu utaat ko bu pour delluwaat National Assembly. Asan Toure nak mom so mu nekk fatale ko ñu ko électoon in 2017 pour mu nekk député bu Bakau constituency under UDP ticket. Bari ngol ñin tebento ka mi Asan Toure no atimo député oti Bakau constituency adabe mo kono mena ko UDP non de kotenke pour ka sira mo pour ka mo National Assembly. Asan Toure ataya tombon in 2017 covering I was sira mo musina do joni o wider Asan Toure ngana ko kanko woni député Bakau constituency on do kanko woni heberde kaytaji makko toto IEC regional office mon toto Kanifing ngana do o tembe do am wede ka ina ko pour subi pour wadar no UDP toto Bakau constituency. So just lu gatte ni don dem waxtan ngana mo nek mo hew Brikama si yiti ngana mo nek Saramolu Sabali ni no waxtan nek na nit ko xamne mu nay wax ne he is well exposed, xam na issues, he is intelligent. Parliament façon nit yooyu lañ soxla waaye xam nga leena tam mën ngaa am all the qualities pour nekk si parliament bi waaye loi bi tam am na lu mu teg tam bu dee mit loo those requirements def dee mën a jafe waaye lu ñu mën a nangutoo moo nekk ne man he got the stuff to be in parliament.
waaw Aliou Momodou Sabally foog naa lii xew is very unfortunate because dafa nekk soo gëstoo background am bokkoon na si first batch University Gambia ñu joxoon ko lijaas wane ne ñi jàngoon ci université bi si jamono boobu yëpp waaw valedictory maanaam moo si gënoon am ndam si biir loolu gis nañ jaar-jaaram si nguur nekkoon na ministre bi amee wàllum jiiti réew mi ministre bi nga xamante ne tamit moo amee wàllum naka lañ ko defaatee si waaw nekkoon na tamit si onda GRTS nekkoon seen manager nekkoon na tamit ki nga xamante ne moo amee woon wàllum civil service bi liggéey si nguur moo leen ilifoon
nekkoon na ministre of finance as director budget
nga xool jaar-jaaram
nekk na tam oto bind na box yu bari
am na mun bi te yaaga na di ko wone te tàggat na fi ndaw yu bari kon gannaawam suñ ko gëstoo am na li nga xam ne mooy xam-xam ak man-man pour war a teewal ñi nga xam ne ñooy Busumbala constituency ci néegi député yi waaye li xew mooy su ngeen fàttale ko jamono bi nga xam ne wécceeku nguur am na ci atum 2017 nguur bi am na kuréel bu ñu sosoon mu di Jaane commission bi pour gëstuwaat président Jammeh ak ay ñoñam luñ doon jëfandikoo alal réew mi ci biir loolu ñu daal di ko ñu am daan boo xam ne tegoon nañ ko ne du mun a yoraat bërëb bi nga xam ne askan gi la faa toogal mu di public office loolu waroon nag am nga coow li bëri woon na waaye loolu moo nekkoon dogali Jaane commission bi nguur gi tamit déggaloon loolu ñu gis ne moom dem na pour sàkku li nga xam ne mooy toogu député ci Busumbala constituency ay si nanguwuñ li nga xamante ne moo di bindoom bi moo bindoo pour wane moom bébétam pour taxaw ne loi ci loolu la ñoo sukkandeku ne dafa dogal ne moom du mun a téyewaat naka du mun a toogaat ci benn place boo xam ne askan gi la faa toogal mu di public office kon lii moo nekk di xew Brikama jamono ji IEC reject nañ ko moo di moom Momodou Sabally moom ngeen doon gis noonu si screen yi waaye li ñu doon wax rek Aliou mooy ne suñ gëstoo jaar-jaaram Gambia ñi mel ni moom la soxla ci public office unfortunately nag dafa mel ni moom du mën a contest ci parliamentary election
si man daal li ma dee wax ne ok one thing mën ngaa disagree with him in terms of politics ak seen xalaat ba den nekka nit koo xam ne ñu bari li ñuy ñaan moo nekka ñu am parlement boo xam ne dina am nit ñoo xam ne they really understand issues like him Sidi ngaji Modou Sabally
baraka bake ñasi min fo toñalo fonni kelo mi yalon ko ay kado ke karola do ko fana banko kanja nga jele aketa moti mom yalon ko kabring ay karamba ay masakunda do ko ke anda dunda bunda jamaleto kata office of the president's affairs minister director of budget central bank Gambia higher education I wato kejele fana keda alfadi Gambia radio and services no jele bring palindro fana keda banko kan jele dunta jakome ko baro fan club fana keda modi mi yalan ko telefona safa ko a bulodu wokoro ka sementu ya fa lota o ku jama mi yalan ko ke banko kan molo mi yalan ko ay dinol fana ka dinol fana khati bakela ade dinol la ko fam fondin kelu fonde muso fondin kelu ko le la nyoka nyin kede ni kuyati kaje ko atela CDR kaito amen fudandi bundatu be marin kate fa bundala Brikama inata balangala o keta safa ko mantabe mbalyalodi bari lafta min fola and men fola anglais kan raf mandi akawla IEC have set here a precedent in that commission report there are people who have been mentioned the TRRC have just submitted their report we know that there are people that have been mentioned in that report
in the Jane
commission and in that TRRC report so one rule for one is one rule for all the IEC have set a precedent here and we don't want to set this country on fire. There can be no favoritism here. We must play the book. We must play the law fairly. Yeah. So the IEC have done something. So it is up to the government. The IEC have set standard, and they cannot come down below the standard. Ngamin folonko, wajare commissioner tu. Mo jamale bije ye mili tolfo. Mo jamale bije miyalonko ye bulo chodi la. Chodi ro kete nyawo nyadro, anyanda tamalo la nyam. TRRC fele ay kaytol bondi. Min keta ela jeroti woto fanam kulere mi yalon ko masa kunda fanam IC wole tama sero kele e tukuroke itol lafta danda daɓe wala luwa min fo itol bola tamande ka bare ɗum luwaɓe marre mil ma sakundade wala fana ñanta kole nooma parce que man pare ka ñimban kummala nimbe fatan fanso kela luwa la karole ro mbe kasaro kela wota bedata pour nga kalamutande nge hakkille bulande ko ni ɓe siri banku kan fo babala fo batala fo fatala fo fabala wonte woto ñinketa kutumi yalon ko jikita ko luwa kotol min bebi jang kis kotol min be kare je bulo chodi miyo minna kisro min fo wala ñanda kele
let's now go to KMC where Asanture is now talking to the press. Let's take a listen.
For giving me the opportunity to contest as a second time as a National Assembly to continue to do the good work that I have started in my constituency.
Honorable Hassan, why do you think you deserve a re-election?
Well, because of the development project and the representation that I'm doing to the people of my constituency as well as the people of the Gambia as a whole.
So how committed are you to fight corruption?
Well, I'm very much willing when elected into office for the second time. So that's going to be my first priority, to make sure that the anti-corruption bill is tabled before the National Assembly.
So you've been there 5 years. You are seeking for re-election. What are you trying to do differently? Or what will you try to do differently?
Well, because the good job that I have started, I mean, that's the better representation that I'm doing. That's the better representation that I'm going to continue doing for my people and the people of the Gambia as a whole, as I said earlier.
Okay. How hopeful are you?
Very optimistic that I will be re-elected because of the performance.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
They are speaking to the press shortly after filing in his nomination. Asanture is, like I said, is among the 17th sitting National Assembly members retained by the United Democratic Party to seek re-election. Like I said, in 2017, he won the Bakau seat with 4,883 votes against the Gassama of JDC, who got 501, and Kumba Bari of APRC with 1,370 votes. There you have Asanture actually trying to renew his commitment to ensure he continues what he has been doing in Parliament. He talks about the issue of the anti-corruption bill. It's already in Parliament. So it's just a matter of finalizing it up.
It is already there.
It's already in Parliament.
And I don't actually know why it has dragged this long. Because I think the executive have done their part to bring it to the Parliament. And I think also it's at the committee level. Whether it have gone beyond the committee level, we don't know. But we hope and pray that come after April 9th, we'll have serious member of Parliament who will take the bull by the horn and to do things properly.
Thank you very much, Sidi Sise. And I understand reporter Umar P. Jallo, my colleague, is also on the line from Banjul. Umar P., if you can hear me, good afternoon. What is happening in Banjul?
Thank you very much, Aliu. Earlier, in a moment ago, the UDP candidate, Mamadou Jallo, has just filed his nomination papers to the IEC officials here in Banjul, and he's also submitted all the required documents, and it's been handed over the confirmation that he submitted all the required documents. And speaking to waiting journalist Mamadou Jallo, said he is vying for the position of National Assembly for the people of Banjul Central, because he believes youths in Banjul Central have been marginalized for so long, which he hopes to address if elected into office come April 9, 2020, later this year. And we are now waiting for Yaya Kuyate and Mamadou Lamin Biba, who are also expected to file in their nomination papers any moment from now. We understand all three candidate aspirants were actually waiting outside. They had to come in one after the other, but all of them are already here on the ground.
You can just briefly summarize what you have said in the local languages. Thank you.
Baraka Bake Aliou, Melbourne jibe kan sainte QTV comme al yamo ngapo nyaming angale kangoto sainte ngamamme Mamadou Cherno Diallo memo UDP la candidate to Banjul Central wala ala kaytol futandi IEC kunda to jang andung apana ye nyinin ka kaytol mel bela abe submitle aka munda sahin men tuta je wala nyindi IEC ka korosiro menke faye o mo kemi sabol ya nyinin kamen na faye melnati fodum wol tonya e wolbe kayti kendol soto le mel ya signero ke pour ka son adela lo banku nyino la wala député ya nyino la wala tutaje ni wo dio contandron bitum ifana e ba e de silo wala na fana ye pour asilo ka député ya nyini Banjul Central wala keta Mamadou Thierno Diallo wala afuta dani dan abe diamu kan kibarta la ako atede niaja gulla pour que ñim place ñini wala ñim ko be lafering pour ka jeko fondinkeol mel yalon ko atela miroto yo fondinkeol tu komale i ñinata fondinke ko wala bu ka kacha fanka sako ke la ko topoto aka munta ye fondinkeol tu komale wala atina a par ate ñinketa e hamodi pour kana député bungoto pour a financer ke moti membe lola ka je ko fondin kelo fana sela hako soto bankola tamandre nyala e finance kumo soto je ibe wati o wati min ferobe sitla fondin kelo fana ndati daranoje musidɓe hettotoɓe e laaroɓe QTV o waktu ɗo minen noon min gonani Banjul ɗo dular nde ganduɗa ɗo wonɗo e ko ɓen ɗon ɗaɓɓoɓe oɗo place député yagal Banjul e on ɗon parti UDP e ko ɓen jotti ɗon ɗo dammugal IEC ɗo wonɗo e ko on ɗon biyeteɗo Mamadou Thierno Diallo e mo ganduɗa ko kanko solli darnade e UDP Banjul Central ko on ɗon jotti ɗo wonɗo IEC o jonniri kayti makko ha paari noon te o timmini kayti ɗi ganduɗa ko ɗum ɗon lamɗo foof ko addi o timmini eɗo wonɗo joni ko heddi tan IEC naaɓe ɓe daara dakko ɗin ɗon kayti ɗi ganduɗa ɓen ɗon yimɓe temeɗɗe tato ɓe ganduɗa ko kamɓe foti jabde fi daragol makko ɓe gudditano damal ko ɗum ɗon heddi si tawi ɗum ɗon ɗin ɗon kayti laaɓi tan joni ɓe mbawa ɗo hollude wonde ɓe gudditanni o damal si o wawa ɗaɓɓude ndin ɗon leydi Banjul Central no yewtidanno e ƴettoɓe ɓe kibaruji noon nde o hempini jonnude ɗin ɗon kayti makko Mamadou Thierno Diallo holliri wonde maɗe e makko de sa yimmo ɗaɓɓa on ɗo siran député aji Banjul Central ko ɗum woni mbo solli o yii wondema ɗiɗo duuɓi joyi jawtuɗi ina wayno fondinkeji walla sukaɓe ɓe ko yejjitaɓe ɓaawa ɓe tawaka ɓe mbattaka e noon leydi ndi nabrete yeeso ko ɗum ɗon ɓeydi o hamminde e fi kanko ne wawde immade o daro o haɓano o yiya wondema de e sukaɓele ɓe ko ɓe gokkaɓe dolintin ɓe jiiya maɓɓe ne e ɓayda ko kamɓe boneta mawɓe janggo leydi ndi e ɓen ɗon foti tawede e kulle leydi e no leydi ndi no naɓirte ko ɗum ɗon o wi woni dal hande makko walla ko hammini o ɗaɓɓude leydi ndi ɓe noon joni so wattu foof minen ɗanni min yiide ɗo Yaya Kujari kuyate mo ganduɗa e kankone ko UDP o solli daranade e Banjul e yol ko on ɗon piyese ko Mamadou Lamin e Biba e joni ko kamɓe poti yettade ɗo ɗo IEC ɗo Banjul fiɓe mbawa yettinde ɗo kayti maɓɓe ɗi Aliou.
Jarama Umar P. Jallo, thank you very much, Umar P. Jallo, our reporter there in Banjul, giving us the latest from the capital city. Like I said, you're watching QTV and we're broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. I am Aliou Cisse, here with Sidi Cisse and Ansumana Eso Nyasi, and we have our reporters across all the IC regional offices in the country. Umar P. Jallo is in Banjul, Ajibintu Drame is in Kanifing, Momodu Gajaga is in Brikama, we have Alhassan Bah in Mansakonko, Don Williams is in Kerawan, Ibrahim Jallo is in Janjambore, and Alaji A.F. Jallo is in Basse. Just to give you a rundown of the 48 candidates that the UDP is putting up, we have Banjul North, Modlamin Biba, we have Banjul Central, Momodu Thierno Diallo, we have Banjul South, we have Yaya Kuyate. In the Kanifing municipality, we have Joswan constituency, Buba Jadama, Bakau constituency, Asan Toure, Talending Kunjang constituency, Musa Baji, we have Bundukakunda constituency, Bakari Njai, Serekunda West constituency, we have Madi MK Sisi, Serekunda constituency. Let's now go to KMC and listen to what's happening there.
To authenticate that it is not part. But if it's a project for KMC, I'm afraid. Okay? But even at that, the leaf...
Even the leaf
is not sufficient.
It's before election, on the 5th of April. That one even is not correct.
So you regularize that, huh?
On Saturday you come for correction.
Yes, we'll give you all this. No, that one, what you do is, when we are done, we are here till 6. You can come. That's why we ask you to come for verification before the nomination, so that we will not have problems like this. So, but you can do, we are here till 6. After the nomination, you can come. So we look at those ones also.
And any of the other days before Saturday too, you can come.
This is why, you remember the time you come to collect the form? This is what I was advising you. I said, whenever you feel before time, come to me, let me vet it. Wherever you will feel need an adjustment, I can tell you when you go back, you do it.
It was section 170 of the Constitution.
Filing in his nomination papers at the IEC regional office in Carnifein, and as you have heard from the returning officer there, Joseph Colley, I think there are some documents that are missing or something isn't right, and he is dealing until 6 p.m. today or from now until Saturday to make sure all the things are put in order. Like I was just going through the list of the UDP aspiring candidates. I said Yakumba Jaite, who was a nominated National Assembly member, is now coming into contest in Serekunda under UDP. We have Yaya Sanyang, who has already made his submissions, Latikunda Sabiji. We have Fatu Cham of Sane Mentoring constituency, Mamadou Sabale Busumbala, and you have just, you just heard what happened in Brikama as far as the case of Mamadou Sabale is concerned. We have Lamin Sabali of All Yundum constituency, Alaji S. Dabo of Brikama North constituency, Lamin J. Sane of Brikama South constituency. We have Keba K. Barrow, who is seeking re-election, and he is the current majority leader in Parliament of Combo South. We have Abdul Sow, Combo East constituency, and Abdullah Bondi of Fonyi Jarol. UDP is contesting in only Fonyi Jarol as far as the Fonyi region is concerned. And now in the Karawan administrative area, we have Matar and Jang, Lower Nyomi. Matar Jang is also seeking the election. We have Mamadou El Diba of Upper Nyomi constituency. We have Mamadou Sar of Jokado constituency. Kemo Gassama of Lower Badibu constituency. Suleiman Saho seeking the election in Central Badibu constituency. Dembo KM Kamara also seeking the election in Iliyasa, or you better say Upper Badibu constituency. And we have Maimuna Gay. Maimuna Gay is among the 7 women put up by the UDP. Maimuna Gay is in Sabak Sanjal constituency. And in the Mansa Konko administrative area, that's Lower River region, we have Lamin Sise, Kiang West constituency. Lamin Sise is replacing Fakeba NL Koli, who passed away last year. And we have Bakari Kamara of let's now take a listen to what is happening in Brikama.
Okay, just so that you will not come, because we have only 2 days for corrections. Yeah, only 2 days for corrections. Okay. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, I want to
Well, viewers, you're still watching, and I think because of what happened in the past, now candidates are now allowed to go into a room where they are now conducting the nomination actually. So, like I said, I was just trying to give you a rundown of the candidates put up by the United Democratic Party. I was in the Mansa Kongo administrative area. Like I said, Lamin Sise, Kiang West constituency. Bakari Kamara, Kiang Central, seeking re-election. We have Yaya Gassama of Kiang East constituency, also seeking re-election. We have Kajali Fofana of Jara West constituency. He's also seeking re-election. We have seen Wandifa Wiya Sane of Jara Central, and then Saini Toure of Jara East constituency. Saini Toure is also one of the 17 retained by the party to seek re-election. And in the Janjambure administrative area, we have in Nyamina Dankunku, we have Kesa Saidi Khan. Well, I'm afraid we have to go to Brikama. It seems one of the aspiring candidates is now taking to the president.
For the National Assembly election, tell us what motivates you to look for this seat.
Thank you very much. I'm the Gambian, and I think I want to contribute immensely and positively in the development of the Gambia, more so my constituency, and that is Fonyi Jarol constituency. As an experienced educationist, throughout the country for over 30 years, working with the government to develop the education in the Gambia. I think I can come to my own constituency, come together, team up with them, and develop the Gambia as we expect it, together with them. That's my intention.
What would be your priority areas, suppose you are elected?
My priority is sensitization, human sensitization regarding humanity. It's very key in this world today. People to respect each other, rule of law, respect the rule of law, and also be a development promoter, and also unity, game changer. Because that's for this modern world, a lot of bad things are happening. We have to come out and then bring positive things to change the life of the people so that we can live in harmony, or else it will be a problem.
How prepared and confident are you?
I'm very prepared. It's not my first time. It's a river I've been swimming in. So I know where it's deep and where it's shallow. So easily I can easily swim through the river in my constituency and get what I want this time. I cannot confirm outside now whether it's my supporter. I know people are outside and they are disgruntled and they are coming up. But anyway, we need to come together and calm things down.
Thank you.
Together.
Thank you very much. That's Alpha Abdullah Bandi of Fonyi Jarol constituency, who is contesting in Fonyi Jarol under the UDP ticket. It's like he said, he's not new. I mean, it's more like it's a river. He has been swimming. So Fonyi Jarol, yeah, Abdullah Bandi. They are speaking to my colleague Mamadou Gajaga about the reason for contesting. Like I was just going through the list. I was in the Janjamure administrative area. Like I said, Nyamina Dankungu constituency, you have Esa Saidikan. Nyamina West, you have Basiru Sise. Nyamina East, you have Alaji Madi Sise. Let's now go to Kanifing, where Yakumba Jaite is also filing her nomination papers now. Yakumba is contesting in Serekunda constituency. Like I said earlier on, she was one of the 5 nominated members in the last legislature, nominated by the President of the Republic, President Adama Barrow. And now she is aspiring to contest on the UDP ticket in Serekunda. Yes, like I said, I mean, she was one of the nominated members by the president. Of course, one of the 3 women who were part of those 5 that were nominated by the president. Just to move on, we now have Nyamina East. Nyamina East, we have Alaji Made Sise. Lower Fuladu West, we have Karamu Fati. Upper Fuladu West, where Sana Jawara is not coming back, and we have seen Numukunda Kanye coming in to replace Sana Jawara, who was one of the finest in the last legislature. We have Janjambure Mamadou Sise is not also coming back. He has been replaced by Jarai Fayinke. Same constituency, we have Alfusainu Sise coming in seeking re-election. We have Nyani constituency, Alaji SB Sila also seeking re-election, and we have Nyaneja constituency, Mamadou Cham is put up by the UDP, and Lower Salom we have Halimatu Sadia Sow, one of the 7 women put up by the United Democratic Party, and in Upper Salem constituency we have Mamadou KF Sise. And now finally in the Basse administrative area, in Basse constituency we have Haji Suare. Wuli West constituency, like we said earlier on during the PJS nomination, Tija Kijera, who was part of JMC and switched to UDP, is now put up by the party in Wuli West, and she will be coming up against her former party leader GMC Maifati and Sidia Jata rather, together with Famara Sabali of the NPP in that constituency. And in the Wuli East constituency, we have Fatimata Juara. Sandu, we have Mohamed Mahanera, who is also seeking re-election. He was elected first in 2017. Tumana constituency, we have for the Drame, also seeking re-election. He was also elected in 2017. And finally, in Kantora constituency, we have Fode Fati, who will be coming up against Bilaji Tunkara, who was elected in 2017 on the UDP ticket, but switched along the line to NPP, and he has been retained by NPP to contest in the Kantora constituency. So Fode Fati of Kantora constituency will be aspiring to contest under the UDP ticket in the upcoming parliamentary election. And Sidi, just before you came, I was discussing with Anstuman about regarding the issue of women participation. We have seen UDP has already done well judging by the figures that we have received so far from all the political parties. This is the highest number of women we have seen put up by any political party, 7.
I think that's a very commendable,
effort
by the UDP, and understanding being the biggest opposition party, and the number of candidates they are filling, I think it's about 48.
48.
Of course, we expect this number of women, if not more, definitely. Women participation, we've said it here before, it's never been lacking in the Gambia, but elective office has always been an issue. And I think one of the candidates have said it before, or Mr. Samsar said it, when it comes to women participation, there are certain obstacles down the road. But hopefully, this coming parliament would help us to break the barrier of women participation in politics. So it's quite commendable by the United Democratic Party.
And seeing them maintain almost 17th of their sitting MPs. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm not very surprised. The likes of Fuladu and Janjambure, Mr. Sise, I mean, he said it. Mamadou Sise, he said it well, even before all the issues surrounding the UDP, the MPP, and all these things. He made it very clear. This is not for him. He went into it with all sincerity, but at the end, he feel like he's not that type of a politician.
And he quit.
And of course, he said it, well before, and that he wasn't going to, come back. And that of our brother Jawara,
Sana. I mean, for me, that really surprised me.
No, I wasn't surprised. Because,
oh, really?
No, I wasn't.
I mean, for me, to be honest with you, as somebody who has been covering the parliament in the past years, for me, Sana was among those finest MPs that I would really love to see back in parliament.
Yes, but
the dude is intelligent.
He's smart. He's a smart dude.
Sana is good, and
definitely he wants something clean. Yeah, he doesn't want to be in the whole fiasco of politics and all the fight. This guy is smart. He's intelligent. He's a technocrat.
I wish we had him back in parliament. He did a great job. A great job in parliament. Even during parliamentary sessions, you listen to his deliberations.
Yeah.
You understand, he knows what he's talking about. He understands issues.
I had several dealings with him. Yeah. In fact, he was on my platform, and we had series of chats and so definitely he is a great guy.
To be honest, I mean, if you are watching, we are not biased. This is exactly who.
The issue is right.
Sana was one of the finest politicians in the last parliament.
Our politics is very polluted. We must accept this, Nyasi. Our politics is very polluted. I mean, the likes of Mamadou Sise, the likes of Jawara, are not the ones who are going to throw their heart in this polluted, election, politics in the Gambia. Definitely, I'm not saying what they do is wrong. It's right, but I'm saying, they would serve us in different areas, but not to be here fighting with people.
And Alaji S. Dabo, another fine MP.
Alaji S. Dabo.
But he's coming back.
He's coming back. Banjul become enough. Yes. We are saying.
And politics is not for everybody, Aliu and Nyasi. Because in 2017, few of those who went into it, that was a need that arose at the time. We needed a change, and the change came in, and they felt they can contribute in building and reshaping the destination of this country. Right. But when we went in there, I mean, things were as they told.
Exactly. Sidi, I understand our correspondent in Kerawan, Don Williams, is now on the line. Don, good afternoon. What is happening in Kerawan at the moment?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Don.
Yes, hello.
Well,
are you? Good
yes.
afternoon.
What is happening in Kerawan at the moment?
Okay, Kerawan has been very, very busy today. I've been very, very busy today since in the morning. And right now, the UDP candidates are presenting their nomination paper. The ambience, as you can hear from here, the ambience here, the supporters are all dancing, singing, and drumming. Now, the candidate, Dembo, KM Kamara of Ilyasa constituency, is the one we are coming to talk to. He has just presented his papers, and has been accepted. So we are about to carry out the for him now to talk to the press. But actually, everything here has been wonderful, has been going on very peacefully. And people are jubilating. You see the UDP people, supporters are in their yellow attire and t-shirt and everything.
Yes, like I said, just try your best just to get few words with the sitting MP Dembo KM Kamara. Like you said, he is the sitting MP of Ilyasa constituency. Others will say Upper Badibu constituency. But just try to get a few words from him if you can. Done.
Yes. Yeah, right now I'm here with Honorable Dembo Kamara of Ilyasa constituency. I'm about to ask him one or two questions now. Good afternoon, Honorable Sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I know this is your second term of contesting in the election as a member of Parliament. Now, what has been your contribution in the House of Assembly since your first term?
I was part of Agriculture Committee, and I was part of a Human Rights, one of the most sensitive committee. And I travel a lot to the country because I've been in Holland, and I was part of this constitution, which has been formed by the only 33 members of the National Assembly. And also, I'm among the executive. I'm a UDP, National Assembly. I'm also a leader on that place.
Okay, my next question to you, sir, is about the youths who are now using this Jakarta as a commercial taxi. What are you going to do towards that in the National Assembly in order for it to be legalized? Because that's where the laws have been made, because now they are doing it illegally. What are you going to do towards that in this term?
Before I say anything on that, we have to train them to be more respectful and careful with the people they are doing. Because this Jakarta is causing a lot of problems, especially in my constituency.
Yes, so that is why I say because they are riding, because that's their means of survival, and now because there is not enough job for them to be employed. So, but they are doing it because they are always having problems with the police. I think it is your duty. You as the MP, I don't know whether you are going to do something towards that at the assembly for it to be legalized so that they can be properly organized.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that you're going to train them, because I was in Uganda, and Uganda, all the youth are engaging with this Jakarta problem. But what I've seen in Uganda, and we're going to train them, and then we're going to organize them so that they'll be one of the most civilized people, so they'll be able to drive as well. But to make short, it is very unfortunate. The people I'm representing, they can't speak this area, English. So why are you interviewing in English? Because people I'm representing, the 95% they also English. So it is very wrong and very sad that they can't see anything from me.
Okay, I'm done with you. Okay, thank you very much.
Don.
Yes, Aliu.
Don, thank you so much. I don't know if
Honorable, yeah, that's the Honorable Dembo Kamara I was just talking to. There is another lady that just finished, Memuna Day.
Yeah, Memuna Day, Sabak Sanjal. Sabak Sanjal.
Let me just talk to him quickly so that you can talk to her quickly so that you can hear her voice.
Hello,
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Don Williams, let's now, we'll come back to you. Let's go to KMC for a press conference. Yakumba Jate, we are talking to the press.
Continue the work we've been doing as a fifth legislature, inshallah, and to do better this time around. I'm hoping this time around what we couldn't achieve in the last legislature, we would in this legislature, particularly a new constitution for the Gambian people.
It was on a silver plate for you. This time around you are contesting. Tell us how optimistic are you?
This time around, I wouldn't say it was on a silver plate for me. It's the same job that both nominated and elected members have. With nomination, you even have a bigger constituency because the entire Gambia becomes your constituency. But now I am owned by the people of Serekunda. If I get elected on their ticket, I will speak on their voice. I would represent them in Parliament, do the things they ask me to do. So they own me, basically.
That's a strong base of PDOIS. Tell us what you're going to do to ensure that you sweep that area.
Well, I don't think it's a strong base for PDIS. I think it was a strong base for Halifa Sallah in particular, Honorable Sallah, and he is retired. And I think even he would be excited having Yakumba Jaita replacing him in this.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's all we have. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you very much.
The eloquent and outspoken Yakumba Jaite, were speaking to the press, like I said earlier on, Yakumba was among the 5 National Assembly members that were nominated by the president, and now she is contesting under the UDP ticket in Serekunda. I mean, having Yakumba Jaite, I mean, she's been
arguably one of the finest female lawmakers we've ever had in this country, Yakumba. Educated, well experienced, have served in the previous parliament. I think I would love to see her back in parliament again. And I mean, her last statement got me laughing when she said,
even Halifa,
you know, it wasn't a Doi stronghold, it was a Halifa stronghold, which anyway, but what I think the interesting bit for me is when she said, I'm sure he would love to have me replace him in parliament. I mean, yeah, so Yakumba, I would love to see her back in parliament, and I wish her all the best of luck because she has what it takes. Yes, she was nominated by the president, but we've seen her contribution in parliament. She's been very instrumental, and I think I would really love to see her back in parliament. Honestly, I think the people of Serekunda, for me, they are lucky. Serekunda West, Woolly, you know, they are lucky. I mean, you look at all the candidates, I mean, aspirants that are contesting in those constituencies, I think they are lucky.
Interesting. Do you think they are lucky?
I agree with Eso. Whether they are lucky or not lucky, I'll wait and see that. But Yakumba, yes, the journalist said to her, you had in a silver platter. Yes, at the beginning, yes, he was nominated, but you know, remember the president removed her revoked her, and she went to court. So she fought it, and she fought it. So definitely, and her contributions at the National Assembly, like later, she definitely have done some great contributions, and we look forward to seeing the kinds of the likes of Yakumba Jaite in the National Assembly.
Well, viewers, as you are seeing on your screens, the UDP aspiring candidates are coming thick and fast. I mean, those are images coming live from Bekama and Kanifing regional offices where the UDP is still filing in the nomination of their aspiring candidates ahead of the parliamentary election. That lady you have had is Yakumba Jaite. Mbadingol hane sang albe kiuti wile juve kang ana nyin tembe no safale ko albota no wala mu Yakumba Jaite ti arina ketano moti mealon ko aketano nominated member in 2017 barole ya tombo nung bari ngaje fanan janni ala tambe barna fanan inara ilafaka bonde nung ala place to bari ataro challenge in court and in inaramurde in parliament. Well, I understand our correspondent in Mansa Congo, Al Hassan Ba, is now on the line. Al Hassan, good afternoon. What is happening currently in Mansa Congo?
Aliu, thank you very much. Good afternoon, QTV. If you're watching it, just remind you, you're watching us live at Soma right now. I'm reporting from Soma, Soma, for Mansa Congo IT office. United Democratic Party nominees, candidates have come for the nomination. And the first person we saw, a young person, very young person, Lamin Tise from Kiang West, has already arrived and has been filing his nomination. We have seen also Bakari Kamara from Kiang Central, who is an MP. You know, we engaged him why he wanted to contest. He said he wanted to contest because they have unfinished work, especially the non-torture bill. That is why he thinks he should be re-elected. And we engaged him if he's going to win. He said for sure, because we all know that the United Democratic Party won in the during the presidential election, in his words. We also have Seni Toure from Jara East. Seni Toure also have been nominated. He's a former MP of the UDP on the UDP ticket. We know NPP won during the presidential election. We engaged him, and he's standing with two young other people, CA and how to call it, NPP, who brought very young people.
And JDC as well.
He said he is going to win for sure. The presidential election and the parliamentary election are two different things that actually
he did not see any hindrance for him when it comes to the day of victory. He's going to be. He also said he did a lot of development in his constituency, and I've supported a lot of communities, organizations in his community.
How about Yaya Gassama, Kajali Fofana, and Wandifa Wiyasane? They haven't arrived yet?
Currently, right now, Wandifa is even the Wandifa Sane is the one sitting filing his nomination. Right now, Wandifa is the one sitting from Jara Central who is filing. But Kajali and Bakari Gassama have not yet come in. They are outside, standing with the crowd, singing, dancing, cheering up. Trust me, Ali, this is very calm, very beautiful. The nomination process is just going very smooth. Everybody here is just like since we started the nomination.
Interesting. That's good to note. Anyway, just summarize that in the local languages, Al Hassan.
Mbadi mo nabe lamaka don kay tan dalla ko me man so ko sain kanne sain du ngalon ko United Democratic Party me alon ko wala UDP te wala nata pukela candidature nata pour nomination of file follow men nata wala kambanding o me alon ko abe kambanding wala me alon ko abe loring ka wala men tite nya bolem bak katum ka fonding ker fana je me ko fonding kellem kana ka lo ka député ni ko le me alon ko anyantale
Al Hassan, just hold on. I'll get back to you. Let's now go to Brikama, where Alaji S. Dabo is now talking to the press. Let's take a listen.
Was a transition for the Gambia. On our side, we believe that there were changes in the transition. We could not realize the quiet objective of the transition. Important in that is the constitution that should take us to the Third Republic. As a parliamentarian and as a very devoted member of building that coalition, I feel the job is incomplete. And where I can pursue to complete the job is the National Assembly. That's why I am seeking for re-election, a second mandate.
Yes, Honorable, there are high expectations when you get re-elected. So there is one question I have. Looking at the functions of the National Assembly, as per the Constitution, they are categorized into 4. So let's go into the oversight function. How you, if re-elected as a National Assembly member, how would you, performing your oversight function, impact the lives of the people in your constituency?
The oversight functions can be performed in the National Assembly and outside the National Assembly.
Yes, how would
in the National Assembly, through our various committees, and I am opportune to be a chair of one of the committees. There we scrutinize the respective reforms of the respective institutions to make sure there are proper administration in the respective institution in the Gambia. If that is effectively done, that is going to impact on the electorate that voted me in. So that's why we have to work very hard to make sure those oversight functions are done very well in the National Assembly. And outside the National Assembly too, we don't only sit down to wait for their reports. We also conduct site visits to ensure that what we have approved in the budgets are the true reflection of the things on the ground. If this is ensured, this is going to impact a lot on the ordinary people.
Okay, Alaji, just on a final note, throughout your 5 years in the National Assembly, have you been the people's representative? Have you seemed to have that connect with the people of Combo, what's the name again? Brikama North constituency?
I am people representative, people centered. That is quite reflective in how and why and the manner in which I execute my function in the National Assembly. There was no instant in time where I acted in a manner against the will of my people. It could be called there were so many things happening in the National Assembly. Electorate did cry foul against their sitting members, but that never happened in the case of Brikama North. And I've also been very instrumental in visiting my people, especially when crises happen or when there are, incident of the COVID-19, and then the disaster as a result of the wind that occurred in April. I indeed told my constituency to feel how my people were affected and to share with them the pain and then suffering. And I also contribute my quota to help those who were affected. Those are the kind of things. And then people consultation was something that I actually put in place. Regularly we do consult. I have my office where the people will come, lodge their complaint or concern, and I will try to look into those concerns. That is the institution that I want to empower so that we can have a vibrant Brikama node where the people representative will be people-centered.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, that's Alaji S. Dabo. Let's now go to KMC, where another candidate speaking to the press, Malik KCC.
Bills were placed before the National Assembly, which I actively took part in them. And most important among them are the budgets, that we all know without budget, no nation can go. And to a lot of other bills. And unfortunately, and I still regret, and I say unfortunately, the most important one, that is the new draft constitution, could not have the threshold, and it fall outside the parliament. So those are things that I can say they are achievements by lawmaking, and I have also contributed in oversight functions, because the duty of a National Assembly member is not to erect any structures, physically or otherwise, by anybody, because we do not have any budget. What we do is to lobby and take the issues of my constituency to the parliament and to follow it and make sure that some of those issues that are born in the constituency are adhered to by the government. So I have done that. For example, in terms of road construction in this country, in this Serekunda West, I have contributed immensely to it. I have asked a lot of questions to the minister responsible that this constituency do not have roads. You go to Bakote, especially the borehole, it's all goggles with bad roads, no good roads. You go to Latikunda, you go to Dipakunda, you go to Kololi, Manjai, go to any village in the Serekunda West constituency. We do not have roads. And I was told that we will benefit from 17 new roads in the OIC project. And you can all see now in Serekunda West, there's a lot of road construction going here and there. Those are OIC projects, and these are some of the things I have spoken about vehemently in the parliament. I would not say that I'm the one who did them. It's government that is responsible. They collect taxpayers' money. They should bring that taxpayers' money back to the constituencies. All our role is to make sure that those needs of the constituency are heard at the parliament. And this is what I've done.
What do you wish to prioritize if you are re-elected?
If I am re-elected, what I will prioritize is roads. We still don't have roads. And then also, you go to the whole of Serekunda West, you cannot find a single senior secondary school. They are all private. These natives of Serekunda West are like any other Gambians. We do not have enough money to pay for our kids at private schools. So government should consider building senior secondary schools across Serekunda West constituency. And secondly, health is also very paramount. We do not have it. The only nearest health facility we have is the Carnival Hospital. And if, for example, somebody in Kololi or somebody down in Bakote falls sick and you want to rush him or her, it's difficult. Access roads are not there, and there's a distance between them and the hospital. So I would also like to have at least something that is more important in Serekunda in terms of health-wise. Thank you. You're most welcome.
Viewers, that's Madi KCC there speaking to the press after filing in newspapers at the IC regional office. And earlier on, you had Alaji S. Dabo of Brikama North also speaking to reporters in Brikama, where he had already filed in his nomination papers. Just to remind you, watching QTV, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. I am Aliu Sise here with Sidi Sise and Smana Esonyasi, and we have our reporters across all the IC regional offices in Banjul. We have Umar P. Jallo, Ajibintu Drame is in Kanifing, Momodu Gajaga is in Brikama. We have Don Williams in Kerawan, Al Hassan Bah is in Mansa Konko, Ibrahim Jallo is in Janjambore, and Alaji A.F. Jallo is in Pasig. And now let's go back to Brikama, where another candidate is now talking to the press. Let's take a listen.
You want to lead if you are elected into office?
The difference that we are going to make, one of my tasks, if I am re-elected, is to make sure the governance structure of this country is consolidated. And the best way we can do that is to work on bringing back the constitution that Adama Barrow and his people threw out of the windows. 116 million of taxpayers' money has gone into the ditch. That's not democracy, it's not good governance, and it's not accountability. That's going to be my role. As an oversight function,
we will ensure that all laws that are going to come into this country are going to be in the best interest of the Gambian people, and the vulnerable members are going to be at the back of our mind. We will ensure that our economy is boosted. How do we do that? We need to make sure that the economy in the productive sector is improved to ensure that the people in the rural areas are catered for. So that's my goal, and I am going to continue to do that. And this fight is going to continue. We are not going to leave it in the hands of criminals who are taking our country into the ditch. The Gambia is 67 years or 57 years old now. We need to do something to ensure that we have the independence and integrity as a state, to ensure that we work towards the development of our people. And that cannot be done without having good policies in place that is going to help the vulnerable members of our communities.
Do you think you have done enough within the last 5 years?
I have done. If we are a listener to the national news and papers and also all community things, I have spent all my life as a teacher. I have worked in the Ministry of Agriculture. I have worked with the NGOs for 25 years, and I have been a youth leader for West Coast region for 10 years. All those things that's why some of the things that I am able to do. And we are going to ensure the rules that we are going to do in that National Assembly are going to be in best interest of our people. And our legislative roles will be strengthened, and we want to see that we work ahead with that. I have done a lot of programs, and I'm inviting all of you to the last finals of the tournament that I am organizing in Farato on the 19th of this month, and that is in memory of a close friend of mine, Honorable Keba Ofadera, who used to be the MP for Kiang East. He has been a brother and a mentor, and we have worked together to ensure that the young people of this country have a direction. And that direction cannot be left in mind. So we want to remember our people, and we want to make sure that the people have made a landmark in this country. So I am dedicating this cup to Keba Ofadera, and that final is going to be on the 19th of this month. Thank you. You're most welcome.
Well, viewers, that's Keba K. Barrow. Yes, Gajaga.
Some of the achievements that he has in the National Assembly within the last 5 years, so he's in the election. According to him, he has what it takes, and he's going to make sure that he, do his oversight functions in the National Assembly to scrutinize the government. Whatever bills that comes in, he will be scrutinized. He accused the government, calling them even as far as criminals and all of that. So he did that in this press conference, and we'll give you more updates. It's a tense situation outside. I'm putting on my mask because of the inhaling of the tear gas, so I had to do it for my own safety. Right now, that's the situation in Brikama. So the candidates are coming in thick and fast. The UDP candidates, also Lamin J. Sane for Brikama South is currently submitting his nomination papers, and we'll be here outside waiting. And then if he comes, we will also hold another press conference.
Gajaga, and please do stay safe there for us. I mean, thank you so much for all the updates you're giving us. You've been doing a quite fantastic job there. And before Gajaga, you had Keba K. Barrow, who is the sitting MP of Combo South, seeking re-election. Well, Keba K. Barrow is also the head of the Gambia's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, and he was elected in 2017. In that particular election, Keba K. Barrow under UDP pulled 10,022 votes against Abdul Koli of APRC, who got 4,146 votes, and Lamin Ifati of GDC 2,434 votes. I mean, and Sumana Sidi, it seems like UDP aspiring candidates are coming thick and faster. Now Keba K. Barrow comes out.
Despite all the trouble outside,
people are still coming.
They know the importance of what awaits for them in the IEC. So they are making way to get in. Keba Barrow, I mean, he's been there before.
And
like
he's
you said,
majority leader.
Majority leader. Before this 2017 election, I remember he contested in 1996 for UDP and lost. That was the same year he contested with me as well. Anyway.
Oh, really? Well, I love this, huh? On what party did you contest?
Let's move on.
I know you must be independent or DOI. I know.
Let's move on. I mean, I'm not happy that he comes there, talking about criminal.
Yeah, calling the government criminal.
I think that was the selection of those words, actually, for me, I'm not happy with. You may not be you may not be happy with the system in place, but again, you were part of that gang, if you call them criminals.
Before the split.
Yes, before the split. They actually advocate and support the presidency of Adama Barrow. So coming out saying criminal, for me, I'm baffled. I must go back to this word baffled. And I think the functions of the National Assembly definitely is an oversight body. They have to go there and do their job well. But we don't go into the Assembly with animosity and all those things. I think that is not healthy at all.
So dégg nga Keba lu mu gaaral comme no ko waxee right now moom moo nekkoon the majority leader in parliament. I mean moom tam mu ngi dellusiwaat pour utaat toogu bi Kombo South xam naa ne Kombo South na tànga de.
Aliou jërëjëf foog naa honorable Keba Baro nekk na koo xam ne léegi ñëpp a ko ràññee ci politique ci réew mi te dégg nga Sidi li mu wax ne atum 1996 sax taxawoon na yàlla mayu ko woon ndam ñu gis ne ci 2017 bu mu taxawee yàlla wërsëgal ko te baax na ñu ràññee tamit ne pàcc bi gën a kawe ci néegi député yi moom moo ko jiite woon mu nekkoon majority leader moom moo dellu si waat di sàkkuwaat li nga xamante ne mooy mandate waa Kombo South pour teewalaat leen beneen juróomi at ci li di néegi tànneef yi te bokk na ci li nga xam ne la wax mooy ne li ko ñor mooy delluwaat ci néegi député yi bàyyi xel di gëstuwaat ni nguur yi doxee ci réew mi ndax wax na li mel ni yenn ci yi nga xam ne moom ñaawlu na ko ci ni nguur di liggéey ci réew mi wala ni moo doxalee te foog naa moom ku ñu ràññee la comme ni ma ko waxee ci politique réew mi fi mu ne ndax ku dem ba nekk majority leader yow nekkuloo ko ndaw ci parliament te foog naa ak experience bu mu am yaakaar naa bu delluwaat foofu he'll be very effective in parliament waaye nag waaw comme lu si di wax la gars yi ngay ñëw kenn kenn.
waaw comme ni ma waxee rek xam naa ne moom Kombo South dina tànga battleground la UDP taxawal nañ NPP taxawal nañ NPP ñu ngi toog nga moo nekk Moodu Bojang
ni nga Kombo South jibe domondi ni na 2017 result ol jibe ibajela ate Keba Barrow ay carte min soto ni yaji coalition of an carte min soto bar ni na December 4th election o jibe ibe min jela ikaba the swing. There have been a big swing from the UDP camp to the NPP camp. That's Adama Barrow. And Mr. Barrow is contesting against a very energetic young man, Momodu Bojang, a guy who is very involved in the community of Kombo South. So definitely he has a very big fight in his hand.
And you made mention of something about the last presidential election. Let's go back to Kombo South. We saw the NPP got 25,075 votes, UDP 20,669 votes.
Yes.
So it's going to be
it's going to be a very close contest. And like I said earlier, I mean, no one would have thought that would go to NPP. You know, it was like, you know, walk in a park for UDP to win Kombo South. But you've seen what happened there. You know, we had a swing. Swing voters happen. Yeah. But again, like I said, when it comes to Momodu Bojang, who is actually the sitting ward councillor in Jambur ward, he's been very involved in the community in Kombo South. And then you have Keba Barrow as well. So I don't want to make any prediction here. I don't think Ali would like that. But I can actually tell who is going to take it.
But I mean, Kombo South too. I mean, I don't know Bojang anyway. But from what you guys have said, I think that one too would be a very tough contest there.
Yeah, it's a very tough contest, like I said. But the boys are working very hard.
Yeah, because
it's going to be a tough contest because
KKB he has been tested and proven. So
yeah, and GDC is putting up a candidate in Kombo South as well. We have Abdullah F. Jallo.
Wow, so this is going to be a tough one.
So it's going to be a tough contest, like you put it. But then, unfortunately, we don't come from Kombo South.
Exactly.
So we don't decide. We can only sit here.
We don't have voting rights.
Exactly, we don't have voting rights. But then,
all you need to do go and talk to them.
Exactly.
Maybe we might go to Sana mentoring, huh?
Where?
See, my hustle is Sana mentoring.
Let me have my own constituency then.
But I mean, Kombo South will be a very, you know, that we should look out for a very hot contested seat. Absolutely, because you remember this guy Alaji Conte, you know, who is from Kombo, Gunjur,
Right.
Dabanan, and have just made a swing to the NPP. And where did he went to do that? In Jambur, in the home of Mamadou Bojang. So definitely, and you have the when you come to the NPP youth president, or what do you call it? Keba Madi Bojang. Keba Madi Bojang is a father to Mamadou Bojang.
Interesting.
So I mean, you saw the 10,000 youth march in Banjul, organized by Keba Madi Bojang. So it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to give you some leads, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Because when you talk about Keba Madi Bojang, Mamadou Bojang, for me, those are names that I've been hearing and I've been meeting.
This guy knows Combo.
No, he knows Combo very well. When you was, you remember that you're still watching QTV and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. I am Aliou Sise and I'm here with CD Sise and Antoine Nyasi. Another candidate has arrived at Kanifing. Musa, I understand Musa Baji of Bundunka Kunda Talending constituency. Musa Baji Talending constituency is now Talending Kunjang constituency is now filing in his nomination at the Kanifing office, IDC Kanifing office here on Kairaba Avenue. Just like I said, you're still watching QTV and it's just 4 p.m. here in Banjul, the Gambia. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station and arguably the much watched TV station here in the country, in and outside the Gambia.
It looks like we're in for a very long day.
Indeed, but the way they are coming in, I'm so we should be done. Anyway, I don't think it will take longer than we had anticipated because they are coming thick and fast, and which is quite good. But Badingol Hansang Albe QTV le jube kan comme nga fale nyamento nyin tembento ikafmi ye Musa Baji melapta ko lo UDP Talinding Kunjang constituency wale fana futata IC la officer member Kanifing musidem ha joni horondara de QTV on do joni officer Musa Baji ko kanko hewi toto IC regional office mon toto Kanifing pour nyapata mako pour holida yidde mako pour darade pour darno UDP toto Talinding Kunjang constituency. Working at me at Yansan QTV, Musa Baji, Narata Hawal UDP, Falaja, Talinding Kunjang constituency, Momo, Falaja, IEC and Bureau Muneka, Kanifing, just on Kairaba Avenue, Momo, Taxi Pro, when I get an common Jason Screen Select, Musa Baji, Axina, I kite them. Well, I just see the Balanyu on Demak. Brikama ina ngi don dega Madi Cissé mu ngi ñëwaat pour utat li nga mo nek Serekunda West constituency base.
I mean when it comes to the issue regarding Madi, I just need to be helped here. I think if I'm right, he said at one point he wasn't going to contest. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. This was because he initially wasn't selected by the committee from what we've been reading. You know, he wasn't selected by the committee, and then I think he granted an interview to one of the papers, was a standard, and then said he wasn't going to contest if he is not, if he's not selected by the committee, you know, and then.
And this was what happened. He was not selected.
I think the committee was going to select Yakumba, and then he said, then if that's the case, then, you know, that was it for him. But then, in the end, he was. I think
this brings some questions to mind.
Yeah.
Where was Yakumba registered in the first place?
Yakumba is now contesting in Serekunda constituency.
And earlier, Yakumba was interested in Serekunda West. That's why Madi was not selected by the committee.
I know they had some internal committee issues.
There are some issues that are
not really very clear.
Definitely, we can't independently tell exactly what was the issue, but then all that we know is that Madi Cissé is now aspiring to contest again in Serekunda West.
Seeking re-election.
And Yakumba Jaite is contesting in Serekunda constituency. And now let's look at Talinding. Like I said, Musa Baji is now filing in his papers. Talinding is going to be interesting. You have Fatoumata K. Jawara there in Talinding. How do you see Talinding?
I mean, Talinding...
We know for certain Talinding, many will say, is it's a APRC stronghold, even though we know APRC is divided. But now with the APRC legally recognized body headed by Tambong Jata and the NPP perhaps backing Fatimata K. Jawara, and UDP on the other hand also having their candidate, it's going to be quite interesting. Fatimata K. Jawara was in UDP, moved from UDP, came to NPP. Yeah. So you'll be doing all what it takes to retain the seat. UDP will also become all out to make sure they take the seat from her.
I think when you come to Talending with Fatoumata Jawara, will be one of those seats that the UDP will say do or die. Because these were people that they believe they have created them. These are people that they have sponsored in the 2017 election, and for them to shift their loyalty to the Baroka. So they will do everything to take the seat. But it's going to be a hot contested seat. I am sure of that. Because Fatoumata Jawara too is very involved in Talending Kunjang. I don't know much about Musa, but I'm sure too he must be very involved in Talending Kunjang. So, I mean, come April 9th, we will see for ourselves. But I know there's a lot of work each of these have to do. For Fatoumata Jawara and for Musa Baji.
Yes, sir?
Yeah.
You see the same view.
In Talending, you know, going back to the 2017 elections, I don't like, you know, using the presidential election a lot as reference, because this is a completely different ball game.
It may be different, but
sometimes we can just use it just to see what happens.
Of course, I know it carries some influence in some way, but if the 2017 elections is anything to go by, I want to believe that Musa, you know, has a strong chance of winning. However, a lot has changed in the past 5 years, and of course, I mean, the NPP, they did well in the presidential elections, but again, I think this is going to be a tough one as well, and
you
that
said
either
Musa,
of them could win.
What do you think is for advantage for Musa?
I mean, his party, of course, won the 2017 election. And if there is anything to go by, and of course the UDP still, you know, retains popularity around the end. So if there is anything to go by, Musa has a chance of winning, like any other candidate.
Yeah, because if you go back to, you were talking about the presidential election. We know in 2017 UDP won in Talending constituency. Fatoumata Jawara was their candidate then. And now we have seen in the last presidential election in Talending Kunjang constituency, we have seen NPP 8,624 votes, UDP 6,242 votes. Yeah.
Very close.
Very close. It is. It's close. But again, like I said, you look at the party's popularity.
In between, a lot must have changed again.
Of course. So well, it
can go either way, right?
It can go either way. I mean, this is not, in as much as, I mean, Fatoumata won in 2017 and she's been there for 5 years. But again, at the end of the day, it is for the people to decide. So this one for me can go either ways. But then it's up to the people of Talending to decide. But I believe Musa has a chance.
Musa has a chance. That's Ansumana Esonyasi
is making a prediction.
His opinion,
really,
views on what he thinks. But it's election, it's politics. I mean,
I strongly believe he has a chance.
Who knows?
I strongly believe.
UDP might even end up winning all these political seats. What do you think?
What do I think? What do I think?
Well, it's possible.
What I think,
It's possible.
If we could go by the results from 2017,
or maybe NPP wins all the
2016, the 2016 and the just concluded December 2006 election, 2016 election and that of 2021 election, a lot had happened. And I know what I said here before, during the presidential nomination and all the time, that we must not be, you know, confused by the support that the UDP have in 2017 parliamentary election. Most of those areas that they've won are going to manifest into support come 2021. And exactly that's what happened. We knew the influence that was there from the president and the need for change and, you know, calling for a coalition and all that. So right now it's like they're going to fight so hard to get those seats back. I am pretty much sure that UDP would find it really tough. Really, really, really tough. Tougher than anyone.
Well, I think for me, all the parties might find it very tough. This is parliamentary election, completely different from the presidential election. I mean, somebody might vote for a particular party, but might not vote for the candidate put up by that particular party.
Actually, you know,
you see, go ahead.
It happens. It happens. I have seen some people who have voted for a particular political party, but they're telling you because of the candidate put up, I'm not going to vote for the individual.
Look, actually,
to some extent, people don't look at the party; they look at the individual.
Actually, Ali, one factor that is going to hamper the chances of some of these candidates or parties is their selection process. I mean, during the selection process, like I highlighted earlier, we've seen party militants, party militants.
Antoine, let's now go to KMC, where another aspiring candidate is now talking to the press. Let's take a listen, Mr. Baji.
Congratulations, Mr. Baji, that you have submitted your nomination. So, why are you intending to contest for this election?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, all thanks and praises due to Allah for the gift of life and health He has given us. To answer your question, is simple. I'm a citizen like everyone else, and as a citizen, I think it's my responsibility to partake in the development initiative, in the development drive of my country. I was born and raised in Talining Kunjang, and I've lived through life seeing what is happening in Talining, and I've seen that the challenges people are going through. And I felt, having been into politics, having served as councillor for some time now, I feel there are many things that are lacking, and I feel I can add my voice, my strength, my energy towards the development of my country.
So prior to your intention to contest, what has been your achievement in your constituency?
Let me start generally from my contribution as a citizen. After school, I served the armed forces for 12 good years with unblemished character. From there, I served the teaching field after college 5 years with distinction. And these are social institutions. That means I have served Gambian people. And then after that, I entered into politics and I served as councillor, ward councillor for 8 months, and then nominated councillor until recently. Now, when I was councillor, I served as councillor for ward councillor as 8 months, and during that short period, I was able to construct or even build a good toilet facility at Marse Fanjai called Marse Tile, and still now the women are remembering me for that. I also was able to restore or install a running water in Talining Jifukunda market, which has been there for 4 years, and people in the market will use the nearby houses to go to toilet. The same thing applies to Master Tile. People in the market would have to ease themselves to the nearby compounds. If you know somebody to help you go and ease yourself. So when I came and alleviate this burden on them, it becomes a kind of remembrance. Even now, the women are crying for me, and then this is something they will always remember me for. And up till now, there has been no other significant development towards the livelihood of women in that market, especially in Marsatile. Generally speaking, in KMC, when I'm a nominated councillor, I have served as chairman of the education committee, which I'm proud to say we are the brainchild. The committee is the brainchild of the KMC library project, which secured funding from EU. And then also at the level of the gardens, we are able to do the small things we can to assist women in their gardens. So I have done some community services. I've engaged some people around the community, and I have felt that I am needed in some quarters, especially at the level of National Assembly, to contribute my quota at the level of the country as well as at the level of my constituency.
Going to the assembly, it's one thing.
Yes.
The other thing is, what are some of the things that if you get what you want, being at the assembly, what are some of the laws that you will be advocating?
I believe at this point in time, in the history of this country, the National Assembly ought to play a significant role, a very significant role in ensuring that the public funds are utilized judiciously, and also to ensure that they stamp corruption, and as well as promulgate laws that would safeguard and protect the territorial integrity of this country as well as its people. So I felt the first thing we should start with is to start with good laws at the level of National Assembly, and then there has been efforts invested, steps taken to do that. Unfortunately, that constitution has been put aside, and then we are still Gambia is still living on a bad constitution, something that is very negative, something that needs to be repealed. And I feel my first responsibility as a NAM is to bring back the good laws for the people of this country. Because you can notice that Africa's problem is that our leaders wield so much power that they become dictators on our heads. And this is our constitution empowers them. And this all the more reason why the previous constitution was thrown out, because the powers of the executive are reduced to be given to National Assembly. So I think these are some of the things that affect not only Gambia but Africa. And it's my responsibility as a NAM to ensure that I provide good checks and balances to ensure that the executive do not misuse power.
Well, viewers, that's Musa Baji, that's very press in Kanifing. Let's now go to Brikama, where another candidate is now talking to the press. Let's take a listen.
And Jaloko in particular, there were instances whereby soldiers had to go with God. This was threatened. I report to the Minister of Lands to discuss this particular issue. Thank God we were able to empanel a district commission to act on the matter. A decision has been taken, but up till now they are still fighting. But I also happen to be in the Select Committee of Regional Governance, Land IEC and Ombudsman, an integral member of that committee. I also am part of the Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, and also National Assembly Select Committee on monitoring the implementation of government projects. This particular committee, we are advocating to have a cadastral mapping and also to have land policy in this country.
Mr. Sane, you've talked about a lot of issues, some of them hugely important, but the concern of the people of Brikama South, who are your constituents, one of them is the Brikama market. Well, the Brikama market and certain roads, access roads in Brikama during the rainy season are in pathetic state. What would be your dealing when it comes to your re-election for the second time?
Thank you very much, Mohamed Gajaka. I think this is a very important question. Like all along, if you can look at the number of parliamentary questions I sent regarding Brikama, because if you look at southern part of Brikama and northern part, these are two sides of the same coin, completely inseparable. It's because of representation, that's why we are demarcated. But my first priority was how are we going to restore our street lighting? From the Yundum barracks, that's a problem. And I did that on a Meet the People tour. The president did promise with emphasis that he's going to bring it with CCTV camera and Wi-Fi. And up till today, that's not forthcoming. I also talk about the major hospital, and he promised that he's going to bring in the out-of-state hospital. This was followed up by parliamentary question over and over, where the VP has to come and represent the president to respond. When you come to the market, like before the bond of Basse market, it was Brikama. And we have appropriated almost 100 million to rebuild Basse. So we've been explaining, but currently, 2 weeks ago, I came from the Ministry of Work, where 35 million has been budgeted to build Brikama market. But Brikama market has been a nightmare. The whole structure has to be changed. And we cannot be mending it in a piecemeal scenario. Like this part is constructed, next time you look at, there should be overhaul of Brikama market to have a modern market that will represent the basic need of the people. You talk about the road infrastructure. Currently, as I told you, I am part of the Select Committee on implementing the government project. We've approved a lot of road projects, but there are major areas that have been approved, and that is we're going to put pressure if I'm re-elected to make sure that they are done. That started from Jeddah Highway to Marakisa, to Jeddah to Tubakuta, linking the Busura, the Busura Highway all the way to the border. I went there, Minister dispatched a team who went there to do the survey. I think design is out. Also Kabafita, as I told you, we intersect all the time. Kabafita to Mandinari roads, that's already approved and designed. They are working on hiring a consultant. The other issue is Daslame to Busura. We've been seriously working about that too. And then we also have a road that is linking Busura to Jiboro. And that's a very interesting road. But that was a prioritization. If you look at from 2017 to the cake of the Gambia is kind of within 30 to 35 billion. and which the majority of that budget line goes to personal emolument. That's the salary and the allowances. So we're looking at the development budget. So we have our development guys that are coming in. But if you look at it 2020, 2021, we are looking inward. All those road construction is coming from our budget. Like if you look at 2021, it's like by about 5 billion that is put on Ministry of Work to do all the major infrastructure at that area, which is very good because it's linking communities and communication become easier. But one thing that is also important, you have the bulk of concentration in my constituency because Brikama is a cosmopolitan center with the right population. So movement is very key, more especially Brikama held to be the capital of West Coast. So every part in West Coast want to come to Brikama for marketing purposes. So that is why we need road infrastructure. We will not stop, we will not relent, we will keep on pushing to make sure that roads are adequately responded in terms of construction.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Of Lamin J. Sane of Brikama South, they are talking to the press shortly after filing in his nomination papers. He is one of those 17 MPs retained by the UDP to seek re-election in the upcoming parliamentary election. I mean, J. Sane actually comes from one of the most populated areas in this country, Brikama. Ansumana City. Dégg nga Lamin J. Sane lu mu wax foofu ci wàllu Brikama South loo jàngat yoo xam.
waaw li ma si jàngat Aliou mooy ne ba tey moo am na yenn yokkute yoo xamante ne des na te bëgg na koo gis si biir constituency bi rawatina si boori marché bi nga xam ne si ronam la nekk ak yoon yi nga xam ne ñoo nekk foofu ci Brikama ci gox bi nga xam ne la toogaloon ci néegi député yi te wax ne tamit yenn ci mébét yi nga xam ne moom am na ko. te bëgg na ko matali ci atum ci su fekkee ne yàlla wërsëgal na ko mu faluwaat so foog naa ne moom itamit bokk na ci fukk ak juróom-ñaari député yi nga xamante ne ñu ngi fa woon UDP dafa mel ni dañ leen tànnaat pour ñu delluwaat foofale kon xanaa kañ di ko wax good luck rek.
waaw di ko wax good luck Lamin J. Sane Sidi ye Lamin la ko moom mooy.
barke baake Aliou. Lamin, take care of more.
I'll come back to you, but I understand our correspondent in Janjambore administrative area, Ibrahim Jallo, is now on the line. Ibrahim, good to have you back. I mean, what's the latest from Janjambore?
Thank you very much, Aliu. Good afternoon, viewers. We are still here at the Janjambore IEC office here in the CRR. Right now, the UDP party is here to nominate. So the UDP party is here to submit their nomination document. As you can see, UDP is the only political party for now that contested the first 11 districts of CRR, Aliu.
11. So far, how many of them have arrived to submit the documents? Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, Aliu.
Yes, Ibrahim.
Hello.
Yes, of these 11, how many of them have so far arrived to present their nomination papers?
Right now, UDP about 8 candidates have submitted right now their nomination document. And the 9th candidate is inside submitting his nomination document now.
Who these aspiring candidates are who have already presented their nomination papers?
Hello.
Yes, Ibrahim.
Yeah, the network is breaking here.
I can imagine where we will try and get back to you shortly, Ibrahim. That's Ibrahim Jallo, our correspondent in Janjambure. Like you have heard from him, almost 9 of the aspiring candidates in the Central River region have already arrived and then presented their nomination papers to the officials of the IEC in Janjambure, and then we will try to reconnect with Ibrahim for the latest updates from Janjambure. Like I said, I mean, we are still bringing you live coverage of the nomination, the ongoing nomination, and today at this moment we are having the United Democratic Party submitting the candidates for the upcoming election. In the Kanifing municipality, we are left with only one for now, that is Bundukakunda constituency, Bakari Njai, who is also seeking re-election, because we have received the aspiring candidates from Joswan constituency, Bakau constituency, Talending Kunjang constituency, Serekunda West Serekunda, and Latrikunda Sabaji constituencies. So we are just waiting for Bunuka Kunda now in Kanifinto to wrap up with KM. Earlier on, you heard from my colleague Umar P. Jallo in Banjul, who said Momodu Cherno Jallo of Banjul Central had made his submission on it was remaining Modlamin Biba of Banjul North and Yaya Kuyate of Banjul South. We also try to speak to Umar P. Jallo any moment from now just to give us the latest update. And in the Brikama administrative area, we as you already know, the Momodu Sabali's nomination is being rejected, and now we go to Basse, where our correspondent Alaji A.F. Jallo is now on the line. Alaji, good afternoon. I mean, what is happening in Basse at this moment?
All right, thank you very much, Aliu. As we speak right now, from 3 p.m., that was the turn for the United Democratic Party. And they came on time to submit their documents for nomination. So right now we have just concluded the nomination. We spoke to the last nominee that came to file in his document. Now, in URR, UDP has filed in 6 candidates for the 6 constituents. Now, out of the 6 candidates, these are the following candidates they put in. The first person that came was Fode Fati from Kantora. But unfortunately, Fode was rejected by the IEC because he could not present the leave of absence from the department because he is a teacher. So he brought in a leave of letter from the Regional Education Directorate. But the IEC had made it categorically clear it has to come from the PMO. So therefore, his nomination was rejected for him to go back and try to regularize that. Then the second candidate that came was Mr. Mohammed Mahanera of Sandu. He also presented his document, and his documents were all in place. His nomination was accepted by the IEC. Then the third person was Chida Kijera. Chida Kijera is a female candidate in Woodley West. He also brought in her nomination, and IEC have also accepted her nomination. Okay. Then the fourth person that came for nomination was Fatmata Juara. Fatmata Juara in Woodley East. Surprisingly enough, Fatmata was also rejected. The reason for the rejection, according to the IEC officers, Fatmata took part in the last voter registration exercise. And according to the IEC, anybody who took part in the activities of the IEC might not be eligible to participate in the election. So therefore, he was totally rejected on spot. So Fatmata went. We wanted to speak to him on camera, the media here, but unfortunately he just turned down and said he doesn't want to speak to anybody. So he left like that. That was Fatmata's case. Then after Fatmata, then we had Fode Dramen. Fode Dramen of Tumal, he is the former National Assembly member
seeking
of Tumal
re-election.
District. His nomination was also filed and accepted by the IEC. Then finally, the last person that also brought in his papers was Haji Swane for Basse constituency. His nomination was also accepted by the IEC. So it means, as we speak, this is what is happening. UDP got 2 rejections from URR as we stand right now. So, but the other candidates have been accepted.
Yes, Alaji, quite interesting there. Then we can confirm that 3 of the UDP candidates have so far been rejected. That is Fatimata Juara, Fode Fati, and Momodu Sabali. Just briefly summarize what you have just said in the local language, Alaji, because it's interesting for people to know what is exactly happening there.
All right, thank you very much, Aliu. Mbade munde la mweta ni be jibero la QTV nying wato. Kibaron mi alonko be puntika le kabrin somanda ndelda sira le jang IC bunda to mansa jang kunda Juara wala mbase tundol. So polo baong akalamta ko nyin talantaba. UDP le nyenta kana pour que la kaytol dundi. Andung inata watila e pourta watila pour que la kayto nati. Mo polo mun dunta pour ka la kaytol dundi IC la sansambato wolom Fode Party of Kantora district. Bari Fode Party kabring ay kayto nati IC na manna ala nomination manna ta inata ka reject. Dalilo mu yalon ko ya reject wolom anyanta ka kayto le soto abi doko la lundami pour ka ita ko anyanta wolom leave of absence ati doko kala walita jola ko wati tantan wo kayto ma soto ay kayto mun nati jam wolom kayto dum yalon ko abe nyin doko ndirande wode ministry mumbe URR wole o kayto diala bari ICI talako kaito ni nyanta kamusoto anyanta kabonan PMO so wala tinna ICI reject iko ayta ala kaito topoto ni asoto janni wa ye wati mundi ala na moto nan isala ko jibe ni mbota woto yana Mohamed Mahanera ate fanam bota sandu ate ala kaito natile ICI sonta mala kaito la apanan ni tembo ya repo yerisito fango diala ni mbota woto ngana muso mu yalon ka bota wulli west ka mu ye tira kijara fanan na kaito putata ICI male ni tembo isonta male annun ye silodi ala pour apanan sa dabula ni election mon kana di mo mutu fulanya mun bota labante mun nala kabo tira kijara wala Fatoumata Juwara kabin Fatoumata Juwara e kaito nadim ICI nata italako Fatoumata tabula nola ning election mun yalon ko akana parliamentary election dalilo mun yewotina e ko Fatoumata dado molle kono no mul ye ICI la carte de wala de voter registration extract ni mun tambita so anu waya ita to momo ning ICI doko ke anu ate famu SRO di wala senior registration officer ate benu doko la panala so wala na ICI ye automatic rejection o diala wala tambita jam ni mbota woto yana pode drame bengalong ate fanamu député tinum ade siri nun ke pomoto ni sanjulo mu tambita ala kayto na tele anum ICI son tamale mo la ba mun nata ko basse constituency ka me haji soare basse district ala fana yala nomination kayto na tele ICI son tamale anun iko asa dabula no ni election mun kana aliou kuma la tiya kama ñine tambita bi ICI la santambato man jankunda UDP la fanala kabri samanda mbe kibaro na pita tenne alusite
Abaraka Bake Alaji AF Jallo, correspondent there in Basse, just telling us that two of the 6 candidates put up by the UDP in the Basse administrative area is rejected. Let's now go to KM where Bakari Njai of Bundukakunda constituency is also seeking the election and is now taking the press. Let's take a listen.
I thank Allah and I thank my 2 parents. I also thank my wife. I also thank the people of Bundu. And I thank the people of Gambia for having trust and confidence in me. After having given me first chance, they still want me to continue. I thank God. And I will want to tell them that the trust and confidence they have in me, I will make so and represent them to the best of my ability. I want to make so I represent them at the National Assembly. I will make sure that I don't represent myself, but my people and the people of Gambia. I know they are happy what I did for them this past 5 years. And inshallah, and I'm willing, I'm ready. The road is clear, and everything is set for me to make sure that I represent them as I am supposed to be. So okay.
Honorable, how optimistic are you that you're going to win the election?
I'm optimistic, very, very, very optimistic, simply because the people, the same people who voted me in for these past 5 years is the same people who come back to me and ask me to continue. That they will stand behind me and they will vote for me, and I have represented them well. So therefore, I am fully confident. But because they did it before and they want to do it again, and they come and tell me, so I'm optimistic.
What are some of the achievements you have done for your constituency?
That is, I make sure that I represent my people. I make sure that I hold government accountable to all what National Assembly members should do. I make sure that all the committees I am in, I make sure all the departments that are under us, we make sure that we scrutinize them well. And last time I was here, the people of Bundu always have a very poor quality of water. And it was, the water in fact was not fit for human consumption. But I fought for that because the filter is the water.
You see the water. The water was like this. This is what they were thinking. But I made sure that has changed. My people, their stomach were paining them because of the water they were drinking. But I made sure that that stopped. And there is a bridge, a road that cut across from Radikunda to Sukuda, where I built a bridge for a temporal measure, but for the long-term measure, I make sure that before the end of my 5 years, the government build the bridge and build the road, and that is done, alhamdulillah, before the end of my 5 years. I built many bridges, and before I came to this position, most major roads were not accessible for both bicycle, motor vehicle, but even human pedestrians. It was difficult for them because the roads were very bad. I make sure that we contact people, we provide gravels for all those major roads. Today, alhamdulillah, all those roads are accessible, and people of Bundung are going around about their business without being scared, being hurt, or their legs being broken.
So if you are elected, what will you prioritize?
I will make sure that first, no bad laws like before will be in our constitution. I will make sure that I represent people of Bundung. What they want me to tell the government, I will, and I will make sure that whatever the government want to do that is not according to the law, we will not allow it. I will make sure that any committee I am in, all the department on that committee, I will make sure that they are held accountable. Each butut spent by that, that department, I will make sure that they are held responsible. I will make sure that we scrutinize them. I will make sure that we perform our oversight for the latter on that that committee I may myself find myself in. And also, in Bundung, for this my first time, I've made a lot of contacts that I have even started many projects, that is project for women and youths. We have already started building the structure, and the structure is completed, and we are just about to finish that structure. And when that is structure is finished, completed, we will make sure that we provide training for youths, and we provide phones for youths and women, especially that have skills and also that have interest in business, to make sure that we provide microfinance for them, to make sure that we help them to nurture whatever interest they have, because we know that government cannot do all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Bakari Njai there speaking to the press. Bakari Njai is also seeking re-election ahead of next month's parliamentary election. He will be coming up against a quite formidable opponent in the names of Suleiman Jame of APRC in the Bunagakunda constituency. And I understand Almame Funding Tal, the spokesperson of the United Democratic Party, is now on the line. Mr. Tal, thank you so much for joining us on this program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Putting up 48 aspiring candidates. How was the selection process like, and why 48?
Well, our constitution provides a framework for electing councillors, for electing members of the National Assembly, and the constituency elections were conducted in all the regions of the Gambia. And there are only very few constituency executives that could not come up with candidates. That is why we even stopped at the 48. We were hoping to fill in candidates for all the 53 seats that are up for the elections in April.
I mean, perhaps somebody out there might say, I mean, 48 is quite huge. I mean, we've seen 7 women. To be honest, we have to commend the UDP. I mean, you came up with the highest number of women as far as this upcoming parliamentary election is concerned. How were you able to come up with these 7 women?
We have committed since 2018 to increasing gender parity, and it's a very satisfying thing that in this Women Empowerment Month of March, and a few days after the International Women's Day, we were even hoping to have even some more candidates from our women members, because our party has always depended on the women to keep it alive. And, you know, coming to mind is the Kalama Revolution, their participation, their involvement since the establishment of the party more than 25 years ago has been something that we are very proud of. We are proud that the mayor of the capital city is the woman first elected to that position. So we have been looking out, we have been encouraging our members to really support and empower women, because we know they can be game changers, they can make a huge difference in parliament. Already, Yakuma Jaite, who has become a star of the last legislature, is now vying to be elected from Serekunda. And these are all signs that the younger generation of the party, and especially the women, feel encouraged, they feel empowered, and we are going to continue to do that until there is complete gender parity, which is the commitment of the party.
Yes, what about the issue of people living with disability? I haven't seen all your candidates physically, but I want to know, were they also considered?
Well, they were considered. The challenge is that we have a few members who are living with disability, but especially, for example, in Banjul Central, we have one of the founding members of the party in the name of Lamin Dabo, who was going to be a candidate, but he is not in the best of health. Similarly, we have been trying to reach out to some of our members living with disabilities, but it has not been as easy as, you know, there are so many cultural factors that even prevent their basic participation in these activities, owing to lack of educational opportunities and meeting the qualification threshold. But we have gone around to sensitize everyone that women and young persons and persons living with disability are really the first choice of the party. Wherever they show an interest, we are going to make sure that every effort is made that they fairly and squarely, according to the rules of the party, are giving the opportunity to participate.
Well, Mr. Tal, as we speak, we're getting confirmed reports that 3 of your aspiring candidates have been rejected. Here we're talking about Mamadou Sabali of Busumbala constituency. We have Fatoumata Jawara of Wuli East constituency, and Fode Fati of Kantora constituency. How do you intend to go about this issue now? Tumana Rada.
Tumana, yes. These are
Wuli East. Wuli East and Kantora and Busumbala.
At 6:30 today. We will get all the facts and all the information, and we will share it with the media fraternity, and the actions that we will be taking, we will make a decision. But today, 6:30 at the party leader's office on Kairaba Avenue, there is a press briefing on these issues and all the other issues relating to the nomination of UDP candidates to the National Assembly.
My colleagues are here, Ansumana Esonyasi and Sidi.
Mr. Tal, Nyasi here, just a quick one. We're getting reports, I mean, like Aliu said, especially in Brikama, very unpleasant reports of you know, confrontations between party militants and members of the security there. What message do you have for, you know, everyone?
Well, it's always a matter of concern where you have tension or the threat of violence. But we have said this many times, even prior to the presidential election, that the peace and the tranquility of elections in the Gambia is a credit to the Gambian citizens and people of this country. Out all these years, the threat comes from the state. The state is the only one that monopolizes violence. And whenever there are disagreements or there are civil confrontations, they have no role to play in that. The courts are set up to settle disputes. But every time you have political situations, we have seen the excesses that the police and our security force are engaging on the simplest issue of protest and making your point in a very peaceful civil matter. They will introduce issues of tension there. So as Gambians and as members of the media, let us all get the facts together and then, make it known to the whole world, because Gambia has only known peaceful elections, even in the days of the dictatorship. So I really don't understand why the paramilitary and these security forces are always at the ready to attack unarmed civilians every time. This is our story, and the Gambia, we have seen too many situations where even a mayor protest. This is how Solo Sandek was killed for no reason. Just he wanted to demand for constitutional and electoral reforms. He was beaten and tortured to death. Even up to now, he has not been given a decent burial. So for us as the UDP, we are very concerned that our security forces are always overreacting when situations like this confront them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tal. Quickly,
yes.
Of late your party has made their position and in fact questioning the integrity of the Independent Electoral Commission. If you looked at the track record of UDP, when similar statements were made, they end up boycotting the election, the parliamentary election. We have seen that in 2001, just to give you one example. This time around, we have not seen that done. What is the game? What actually, as a party, you decided to go into this election after questioning the integrity of the Independent Electoral Commission?
We have every right to question the processes that are electing our officials. Also, we have the right to boycott processes that we don't think there are remedies. But we are going into these elections, and the party leader has made it absolutely clear that boycotts are a thing of the past. Then that dispensation, everyone knew that they were playing a game. Now it is for the media particularly, because there are other observers who come and observe the event. For the media to always suggest that the UDP is either radicalized or is taking extreme steps, when the institutions that are set up by law to take care of all of these issues are always given a pass. Nobody questions them, nobody asks them. They come back and whatever they say, the IEC is rejecting these charges. What we want is for Gambians to know what has happened in the December elections, and the evidence is there. We were hoping that it would be heard in open court. Unfortunately, this has not happened. But the UDP is contesting this election, has no plans ever to boycott elections again until this government, this country is having the best electoral process, it has the best constitution, it has the best laws that can help this country move forward.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Tal, just before you leave, going through your list, I have seen the UDP is retaining 17 of your sitting MPs. Why do you choose to maintain these people?
They have worked for their constituencies, and their constituencies are generally happy with them. Obviously, it is for them also to prove to their constituents what work that remains to be done. We all have seen that the electoral and constitutional reform that everybody expected would have happened in the last parliament did not happen. So we are retaining them because their constituents want them to continue to serve them in the capacities that they have been serving. Some have decided not to seek re-election. Some have gone on to pursue different opportunities outside the Gambia. So anybody who is on the ticket of the UDP are there because their constituents want them to continue to serve in those capacities.
Like you said, we have seen some MPs who are not coming back. This includes Mamadou Sise of Janjambure, who is replaced by Jarai Fayinke. And for me, arguably, one of the finest MPs we have had in the last legislature, Sana Jawara of Upper Fuladu West, also replaced by Numokunda Kanyi. Did you know the exact reasons why, for example, the likes of Sana Jawara has chosen not to come back?
Sana is going for further studies and qualification. He is currently attending university in the United States, and that was a plan that he had for a long time.
Okay.
But he has promised both the party and the constituency that as soon as he completes his education, he will come back to participate in nation building.
And your final message to your UDP supporters and to all Gambians ahead of the next, of course, the campaign and election.
We have a country to build. We need the right kind of institutions, but we need the right kind of leaders to help us get to where we are going to get to. All the indicators in this country are trending down. We don't have the body of laws that are necessary to kickstart the development process that is so long overdue. We don't have the policies. Every day you hear one thing is more expensive than the other. You hear allegations of malgovernance. You hear allegations of personal malfeasance. So there is so much work to do, and the National Assembly is the, if you like, is the workshop where you make the laws of a country. If we have good laws, the rule of law would be meaningful. If we do not have a new constitution, the country will continue to be run as if it was run during the dictatorship of Yahya Jammeh. We need these changes, and these changes can only be brought through the rule of law and through electing a parliament that is effective and that is going to deliver on the best interests of Gambia.
Thank you so much, Almame Fanding Tal, who is the spokesperson of the United Democratic Party. We are speaking. Thank you so much for being on this program, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Viewers, that's Almame Fanding Tal, the spokesperson of the United Democratic Party. Just they are sharing with us the selection process. I mean, some of the MPs that they have retained, the reasons why, and of course those who have left, the likes of Sana Jawara. I mean, it's good that all these things are clarified so that we can know. I mean, so many people are asking questions. Why is Sana? Why is Sana? And it's good that he clarifies this thing. I mean, for me, this is the beauty of, really living up to expectation. If you see all of us are sitting here talking good things about the likes of Sana Jawara, it is because of the legacy that he has left at the parliament. And we wish him all the best in his, as he go on to further his studies. And we hope to have him back one day in parliament or in other government institutions to continue serving his country. Once again, Almame Tal, thank you so much for coming on this program. Ansumana dégg nga Almame lu mu garal foofu noonu si kalama angale.
Waaw
naka nga jàngatee si waxam.
Almame wane na ne ñoom as a parti dafa mel ni loi la si parti wala loi parti bi si boppam moo wane ne war nañoo mën a tànn ay nit yu war a mën a dem ci néegi tànneef yi lu war a toll ci ñeent fukk ak juróom-ñetta te ci biir loolu ñoom itamit def nañ seen matuwaay ba gis ne loolu am na waaye tamit sóoraale nañ ci jigéen ñi tamit te dafa nekk loo xam ne ñoom parti bi daanaka dafa mel ni léegi nangutu wala comme loi ne dañ am pour gën a dooleel jigéen ñi ci biir parti bi li ci mel ni bu ñu pour sàkku yi fi place bi nga xam ne ci politique ngay jaar daanaka te gis nañu ne ñoom ñoo nekk benn parti boo xam ne tànnoon lu war a toll ci fukk ak juróom-ñaari jigéen pour ñu war a bokk ci jongante bi wax na tamit ci li nga xam ne ñoom rafetlu wuñ ko mooy li nekk di xew Brikama ak ci seen yeneen nit ñi nga xam ne dañ leen tànnoon pour ñu taxaw ci élection bi te yàlla def commission bi nga xam ne moo saytu wàllum sànni carte ci réew mi ne ñooñu xëy na mataluñ requirements yi nga xamante ne la loi tëral ne loolu nga war a matal pour nga mën a bokk ci élection bi wax na tamit ne ci juróom-benn waxtu tey dinañ am ab ndaje bi nga xam ne dinañ ko am ak taskati xibaar yi indi li nga xamante ne mooy parti bi seen taxawaay xamal ko askan gi ak seen gis-gis ci li nekk di xew ci réew mi kon foog naa ci gàttal lii la wax te xamal nañu tamit ne kii di honorable Sana Jawara mi nga xam ne tagga nañ ko lool nag ci liggéey bi mu def ci juróomi at yi passé nga xam ne du taxawaat ren ne kooku dafa nekkul ci réew mi dafa génn réew mi pour dem yokk li nga xam ne mooy jàngal foog naa ci gàttal daal lii la wax.
jërëjëf Ansumana so ñaase sidi ye Almame la kuma moy
baraka baki Aliou Almame kuma kal min fujang seneta min kete la patiola xammo ane nganiyo ñinen karodo min be dendeng ila lo dulala kabren katre fayta December karo kana fusani ye bulo chodi bungola min keta Independent Electoral Commission ka fu bunno mi yalan ko man jiko sudala man lanno sudala bari nata ke da du nyin karte fawto ko nyin kata anda min fo comme itolu patio ane la pati nyaton ko min tandi wolon kay da bondi karte fawto wora kala kuti mi anon ko ba kala min be dending modo la mi anon ko imanna muruna ila patio do ka tenyini ila molbulu mimbe ko Sana Jawara Mamadou Cissé fo ko wol dolu mimbe ko Sana Jawara abe karan ke kan bantal banko kan nyen tembe anda yella hido di wato wade na pare karan la be muruna na kana ila patioto aren ka do ko ke ila patioto Mamadou Cissé wo nyong ko ala sulolu wolle fatata nyen tembentu wakete ko dum yana ko senen almame tal fana bankero ke ko nyo sabo membe brikama jalayro ke service lalla ko wato wadi ni mo lafta findila fo ke la balamba yatande service lalu ka manya mi yaro ka sangara wo mol ka melan ko fente bulu e se fa tangano min selfless civilians mi yalo ko wollo molti mil findira ke la balamba ya nying ay to mo ndoro fanke kuma ka nyina amen kera solo sandente ka fo fon fata wo si fa nyina to anyel be mo kulede mi yalo ko banke atande fanan ko tala woro natamina minute tan saba ibe kacha kala nen kibar talalu party headquarters warante ila party nyadon ko la bureau nyinto amemu Kairaba avenue to njikita ko ibe bankero kala ko aliwe ya nyenka mol mi yalo ko nyentembe mi ko Modou Sabali anin do ko tawlu min keta juwarati min be wulde is anin fana min for the kantora mi yalo ko nyentembe to yela kaydol murundima koy malla wato safi mela kaydol ta ka songala tuma men dara ka CDR ke nyimbu nyinto ako nyilbe mu kula mi ba kacala nen tuma men nen kibatala kacata nyi wularantilo oto nyi mu kulati njikita ko hanisa nyamamba mina kuma kan jama sotola ate UDP patio nyimbul bankero fananke to mondro min keda surte musol minta ako nyi mu kulati mi yalon ko ila lafon nolom andum fana ya sembentu yande surtout be nyin karo min kono min keda musol la jural karo nyinti odo mu kulati mi yalon ko itol keda moti mi yalon ko lafta musol sembentu yande la politiko kono ani la patio mon mi yalon ko la njurtolom fofana ye kado kala pour ka mol nyini hani fo modobe banjun min keda lamin daboti ya xamo soto non pour afana yim palaso nyini bari ni wato a jaato man tara sahayare mbake woto alion safa ko UDP la dingol be finde kan sañi kata brikama lon kerewan lon baselon janjambure lon anin KMC jannom bang anin banjunu lon bang ke CDR ke fawla pour que dadum ñi ñoo saboto par milliard lon ko e kolya ko so de la kaydo la karola warne balanto kede la kola ike bina kuma kan findinde la pour jama rahmano be sa kalamuta ñi ko dum yalon ko
barka bake CDC sa jerejef Ansumana eso nyase viewers, you're still watching QTV and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. I am Aliou Cissé. We say this is and Ansumana Eso Nyasi and our correspondents are across all the IEC regional offices in Banjul, KM, Brikama, Mansakonko, Kerawan, Janjambure and Basse, and I'm now joined by my colleague Modu Gajaga, who is still at the Brikama IEC regional office. Gajaga, I know we will soon wrap up with you. It seems all the candidates, aspiring candidates who are scheduled to appear in Brikama have already filed in their nomination. Just give us a summary of how the day has been like in Brikama, Gajaga.
Yes, quite a hectic day in Brikama. I would say precisely since 2:30 when the UDP candidates started by Abdul Sow, who actually started from Combo East, who filed in his nomination papers, and papers were accepted, waiting for scrutiny and also a possible notification, whether accepted or otherwise. Then Mamadou Sabali came in. Mamadou Sabali, when he came, submitted all his papers. It took a while. In fact, it's usually more than the time that it would take for a candidate to submit his or her papers. So we've seen that it's been a while, and then they're exchanging some words. So out of inquisitiveness, we went there to find out what was happening. We realized that his candidature, being an aspirant, was rejected. They said it is based on law because Mamadou Sabali has been banned from working in the public service for life by the recommendation of the Janneh Commission. That was the commission that was established to probe into President Jammeh, former President Jammeh's financial dealings during his 22-year reign. Well, when that happened, people who escorted him, supporters of Mamadou Sabali and supporters of UDP, didn't go that didn't go down well with them. They came in their numbers to vent their angers, frustrations. Well, at some point, it really went very tense and sometimes very violent because the security had to be beefed up. There was an enforcement of the PIU. They threw tear gas at the crowd to disperse them, and we've seen stones raining as well. Some of us as journalists and press officers had to go into the IEC building to seek refuge because the stones were raining in like fire on the rooftops. So those have been the situations here. Well, when it calmed a little bit, some of the candidates came in and everything had to be done inside the IEC building rather than outside under the tent where usually all the candidates will come in and submit their credentials. Alhaji S. Dabo is also seeking re-election from Brikama North constituency. Lamin J. Sane, Brikama South, and also a lady Fatu Cham of Parliamentary constituency, also contesting under the UDP ticket, also submitted her nomination papers. Plus K. Barrow of Combo South and other candidates as well, Aliu. So far, that's been the situation here in Brikama. Until now, there's few UDP supporters outside talking to the security, showing their frustration and anger. But for that tension bit of it has really calmed at this moment right now.
Mamadou Gajaga, our correspondent there in Brikama, he's been doing a quite fantastic job. Thank you so much, Gajaga, and continue to stay safe there for us. Thank you so much, Gajaga. And with that, we wrap up our live coverage from Brikama, where UDP has been filing in their nominations for the candidates that they are putting up in some of the in some of the constituencies in the West Coast region. CD, you have heard from Gajaga. It means we are done with West Coast region now.
Thank God that though
we are done with West Coast region, done with Kanifing.
Bit of a tension, but it seems it's now under control, which is very good. I think when the crowd was actually being agitated, I saw Ibrahim Adiba, I think if I'm right, trying to calm them down in the screen.
Okay.
I think that was Ibrahim Adiba. It may not be him, but it looks like him.
Okay.
And I think that was very good that some of the UDP officers were there to at least calm the situation. Because we do not want.
I think that's what we expect from them as leaders. Sometimes when such happens, I mean, especially the young people, they are so emotional about issues, or the way they react. Maybe perhaps an elderly person wouldn't react in that manner. But it is good, like you said. I mean, seeing some of them trying to calm the young ones to calm down and allow the due process to be observed. And it's good that, like Almami said, they're going to convene a press conference this evening at 6 p.m. and of course make a statement about what the party stance.
I think there was so much energy in the Modus Sabali, camp.
Yeah.
From the very day that he declared,
he expressed his interest that he's going to contest.
There was so much energy, and we've seen that. So I wasn't surprised. The crowd
exactly. Now I understand. Ibrahima Jallow in Janjamure is back on the line. Ibrahima. Hello, Ibrahima.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon once again.
Great. What's the latest from Janjamure now? Are we done there?
Thank you very much, Aliu. The nomination process is still on here. 10 of the UDP candidates have already submitted their nomination documents. They are left with one candidate to submit his nomination document.
Yes, and I asked earlier on, who are these aspiring candidates that have already submitted their documents?
Yeah, you have from the Upper Plateau West, which is represented by Numukunda Kani. And you have the Lower Plateau West, which is represented by
Karamo Fati.
And you have the Nyani constituency, which is
Alaji Silla. That's Alaji SB Silla.
Hello.
Yes. Ibrahima. Yes, Ibrahim, Nyani constituency, we have Alaji SB Silla, who is seeking re-election actually. He was elected in 2017.
Yeah, we have Bashir Sise for the Nyamina West.
Nyamina West, okay.
We have Alaji SB Silla from Nyani Food.
Okay.
And we have Modu KFC there from Upper Alo.
Okay.
We have Halibatu Sidia Shaw for Lower Salem.
Okay.
Sadia for Lower
Sadia
Salem.
Shaw.
We have Alhaji Madi Sise from Nyamina West East.
Nyamina East.
So, yeah, so we have Jarai Painte.
Janjambure. And meaning, so we are, how about Momodu Cham of Nyanaja constituency?
Yeah, Momodu Cham is the one presently submitting his nomination document in front of the chairman of Janjambure IEC.
And how about the SRC the Kan, Nyamina Dankunku?
Yeah, Esa have already submitted his nomination document.
Wonderful.
He have already talked to the press and he outlined some development that he already have in hand for his people.
Yes, I'm so like you said. I mean, I have Alaji SB Silla and Al-Fusaini Sise. These are already in Parliament. They are seeking re-election. Were you able to talk to them? And if yes, what have they been saying?
Yeah, all their focus is the development of their constituency, their various constituencies. They are trying to outline some of the development orientation that their constituency are lacking, and they are ready to work fully towards their development of their constituency, because they said the 4 years they have spent in the parliament is like they have done a lot for their constituency. That's why their people still have hope in them to ask them to come and represent them again for this upcoming parliamentary election that is going to take place on April 9th.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim Ajala, our correspondent there in Janjambure administrative area, giving us the latest update. And like you have heard from him, all the 11 candidates put up by the UDP have filed in their nomination papers. I mean, it's been a quite long day.
Yes, we are done in Banjul.
We are done in Banjul, Kanifing, Mansa Konko, and Janjambure, Basse as well. We're done with Basse as well.
Wow.
We're almost done.
We're almost done, yes.
So basically, both of you, Sidi and Sumana, from what you have heard from the candidates since in the morning, what do you make of their comments?
Well, I think we can and should be hopeful for the next parliament. I mean, I've seen quality, I've seen interest in serving one's country. I have also seen ambition. However, there are a few who I think, you know, either they do not understand the role of a NAM, or it is they are deliberately, you know, making certain political statements, you know, either to only canvass for votes, which I think for me is dishonest. But in all, I think we can and should be hopeful for the next parliament. I've seen quality, like I said. I've seen people who have interest to serve their nation, and you can feel the ambition as well in these people. So we should be hopeful for the future.
See?
I totally agree with Eso. I think we should be very hopeful. We've seen very talented young, you know, candidates, you know, coming in to want to serve their people. I think one thing we need to be clear about is to serve your people. You know, we all cannot fit in the National Assembly, so we need to elect people who will go there and be the mouthpiece, and be our watchmen and watchwomen. So I think that is very important. Like you've rightly said, somewhere, you know, couple were very emotional, taking, you know, certain issues. Of course, I think that's a point of frustration. But I don't think that we need that now. You know, it's the electorate that you need to engage. Go back to your people, talk to them, engage them, and if they have trust in you, I mean, they would elect you or re-elect you.
Thank you so much, Sidi Sise. Thank you very much, Ansumana Eso Nyasi. Well, viewers, with that we come to the end of this live broadcast of the nomination. Today is day 6 of the ongoing nomination. And on behalf of my panelists, Sidi Sise, Ansumana Eso Nyasi, our regional correspondents, Umar P. Jallo in Banjul, Ajibito Drame in Kanifing, Momodu Gajaga in Brikama, Don Williams in Kerawan, Al-Hassan Bah in Manchester Konko, Ibrahim Jallo in Janjambure, and Alaji A.F. Jallo in Basse, and of course on behalf of the entire production team, the management and staff of QTV, we thank you so much for watching. I was your host, Aliou Cisse. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.